G'day everyone, Matt Elder here, and we'll get started in a second. Hopefully people can hear me. If you just give me a thumbs up or a hello in the chat, that would be great. Just so I make sure that I'm not talking to myself, which is always good. Where are we? Just double check. So let's just try and get a few things started. So can people hear me okay? Okay, I'll just get that started then. Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to yousayidraw, where every Saturday at 8 p.m. London and 5 p.m. New York and silly o'clock in Sydney, Australia, we spend some time together drawing on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. You say what to draw in the chat, and tonight it's We Draw It. So it's a special episode. We are joined by the fabulously talented and all-round great guy, Mr. Kevin Hinkle, and today's theme is science fiction as chosen by Kevin. So for your suggestions, you'll get 2 sketches each, so 2 for the price of 1. If you've stumbled across this and never seen me before, welcome. I'm on all social media, and you can check out my main website at mattelder.com and subscribe there to be alerted of new content and my artwork and when I stream as well. This show is sponsored by McCatsum Holiday Homes, just 75 minutes east of London, UK. Great for a holiday, staycation, or weekend getaway from the city. High-spec apartments with lots of great restaurants and bars in the area, along with a Lego wall. Visit mccatsum.com for more details. Just a heads up, my streams are drama-free zones with family-friendly content, so please be respectful in the chat, no bullying, triggering, or profanity. And tonight, also too, a huge shout-out to the co-host Solo Brick Builder, who's going to be helping us out, and without it, it wouldn't be half as much fun. It makes such a difference to us. Description for Kevin and Solo is down below, so if you make sure you check them out and also subscribe to their channels. And as we covered off, Kevin is chosen the topic this week, which is science fiction. And I'll just go through and we'll stop sharing that and we'll get started here. Let's pull this down. And so, as saying, without further ado, let's get into it. And my guest this evening is the wonderfully talented Mr. Hinkle. How are you doing, Kevin?
Oh, is this the rave stream?
Yeah, that's the one.
This is where all the artists come hang out. We have a party.
Have a party, exactly. Yes, I'm very impressed. It looks like tonight you're going to be doing the traditional.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. This is not what I normally do on my stream, but I wanted to change it up just for you.
We appreciate that. No, that's awesome. I think just beforehand we were commenting a little bit and just on how we do it and everything. And I sort of was actually following what Kevin was doing off one of his Beyond the Brick videos, and I didn't realize that he actually did pencil sketches beforehand. So I always thought he went straight into color. So I'm sort of like, yep, I'll just go straight into color too.
You're like, you basically went straight to the master class and you skipped the whole intro. You're like, I don't need any of this. I'm going directly to the major leagues. I mean, you know, I've watched quite a few of them. I don't think I've caught every single one, but I've seen quite a few of your streams, and I've always been very impressed. I'm like, man, he just goes straight into the color. Like, I mean, I at least throw some kind of form down on there, but he just goes straight for it.
Away for it. Yeah. No, that's just funny. It's just sort of almost like just Forrest Gumping our way through it. And yeah, that's the great thing with art. You kind of just see what somebody else is doing and sort of copy it or steal it or flog it or whatever else. And then
sometimes not really a wrong way to do it, you know? There's
You just happen to steal the wrong thing, so
it's still the wrong thing. But yeah, I'm often a victim of lighting. That's kind of my problem. When anything I do traditional, I'm often either too bright or too dark. I can't find a middle, and it seems like the desired output for just pencil sketches on paper is very different than color on the paper, and that's very different than when you ink on the paper. And one of these days, I'll figure it all out.
Yeah, I know much that sort of feeling. It's you see something, and then at least for the streams, I always just try to go straight for ink and things that people can see.
Yeah,
and
sure.
you see something, it's like, actually, no, this would work better as pencil, but I'm never going to get there in the time frame.
Yeah. I mean, that's the other challenge too, for sure.
Yeah.
How quick can you do it? And my only experience doing traditional artwork on live streams so far has been with some of my appearances during Brickworld Virtual. So I've done some of those, but I feel like those are more like I walk through the kids and stuff through how I draw. So it's like more, I don't know, teacher-like.
Yeah, yeah.
Other than that, I usually just do a digital stuff.
So, yeah. In the meantime, we better bring in the fabulous co-host. He's always around doing something. Usually it's always in a van, but tonight we've actually caught him when he's at home, and that will be the wonderful Mr. Solo Brick Builder. How are you going, Solo?
Hello! Hello. I can't do a fabulous beatbox like Mr. Hinkle over there.
Now, hey, welcome to the party.
Some very wonderful wavy hand gestures going on there. And I will not insult any countries today. So
no, we appreciate that. So no, when Kevin was first doing that and didn't stop, I'm sort of like, has he realized that we started? Like, is something this could get awkward.
Are we live?
So yeah, all right. Yeah, we got the topic. I think we'll just get started with it. And Solo, being the host, you can have the first crack at whatever you want us to draw in the realms of science fiction.
Oh, I get to draw. I get to pick something. Oh, God, science fiction. Holy moly, what can I think of? God.
Hopefully you know something that's possibly science fiction-y.
Yeah, well, the thing is, there's quite a lot of it, though.
There is indeed. There is quite a bit.
Oh, God, bloody hell. I'll tell you, I'm going to go to one of my favourite mediums. I'm going to go with Battlestar Galactica. Go with Battlestar. We're going sci-fi. Let's go full sci-fi. Give us a Battlestar.
Okay, let's see. Battlestar.
I'll leave it up to you what version you want to go for.
So does that mean should we draw the same character?
Well, the thing is, though, the beautiful thing with Battlestar, you got two different versions of it. You got one old, one new. So,
yeah, well, that's the thing. Once you said it, it's like it's not a property I'm hugely familiar with. Like, I know the name, and it's like, oh no, this could get interesting if we have to go for a specific flavor.
Hey, yeah, I don't know 99% of what people want me to draw.
That could have been interesting on your food topic then. Banana, what the hell is that?
But yeah, I'm wondering if we just both pick a random character from this, or we both do the same character from this.
Well, I can make it a bit easier if you want. How well do you know Star Trek then? How well do you know?
Oh, that's more in my wheelhouse.
Well, we change it to Star Trek then. We'll go to Star Trek. There you go. I think that might be a bit easier because I know Battlestar's a bit more of a, you got to be a diehard person. And well.
And at the first hurdle, we both have failed.
I was just asking if we should draw the same character or not.
So, Star Trek, have we got anything in particular? Any character? Any generation?
Well, I'm a ship person, not so much the captains. I mean, if we go with captains, I am a Picard fan, so I mean, you could always try it. Is it the Star Trek Enterprise C that he was in? So, yeah, you got that. I'm pretty fluent on my Star Trek stuff, so yeah.
What are you feeling like, Kevin?
I'm fine with anything.
It all depends whether you want to go to the complex side, do you want to draw a face, or do you actually want to draw the ship? It all depends how.
So what's interesting is I tend to always somehow fall into character design and character drawing. That's always what I end up. I think that's where I'm most comfortable. It doesn't mean I don't like, flexing and experimenting into other realms, but I do tend to, if you're going to ask me what I prefer, I always prefer to go with a character. So it would probably be some character from one of the shows.
Ooh.
Okay, what say we do? Or unless Solo, you got a particular one? I'm thinking just Spock from First Generation.
Go on, yeah, give us a Spock. I love a Spock.
Spock.
Give us a Spock is a great line.
Give us a Spock.
Just give us a Spock.
Live long and bloody prosper.
Absolutely.
We have our ones coming as well. We have JJ Jar, Art Ractor. Okay, we've got the first one after this one.
Okay, cool, excellent. JJ Jar, thanks for coming along. I think that's the first time I've seen you around, so brilliant to have you in the stream.
Should I try? Should I try to give this the Matt Elder approach and try to go straight to color?
Do it, go on, do it.
Having said that, I'm just doing a light gray structure for the head. So
it's like we finally determined that it's different, and then you want to switch. I'm gonna just try it though, because this looks really hard to do. I've always been very impressed that you pulled this off. So I'm gonna try.
Okay. I think it's funny how you say you naturally gravitate towards characters, because I naturally gravitate, it seems to be, towards vehicles, which are easier. Because, so long as you kind of got wheels or, things there, whereas, as you probably can appreciate with faces and particularly a likeness, if it's really hard to get it in the wheelhouse.
It's so interesting because, I think it's, hey, look, you can see nothing I'm doing. That's awesome.
I was about to say that. You're drawing a very white...
Guys, it's so glorious. Your eyes can't handle it.
Look,
there it is. Way.
There it is, yeah.
Oh, man. I'll get it. Don't worry. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out now. It's almost like the invisible ink, or it's like, oh, actually, no, I wasn't drawing Spock. I've done Wonder Woman's invisible jet.
It's the invisible Enterprise. Yeah, I don't know if it's just my years in college studying animation and many years worth of character design and all of that. I've always drawn characters for as long as I can remember.
I just love listening to how our artists kind of like think and do things, because coming from someone who can barely draw a stick figure, it's always interesting to see like different people's tactics as well. Because I used to talk to I used to attempt to teach my grandmother how to draw, because she would always say, "I don't know how to draw." I'm like, "Grandma, I'm going to teach you how to draw." And she would always remind me of my attempts as a young child to give her lessons. Yeah, my nan did attempt to get me to draw, and I did at one point make a cracking looking stick figure.
Nice.
I must admit, I got the back straight. The arms looked really good because I was using a ruler, and but as the years kind of went on, I just suddenly realised that pen and paper is not my forte at all. I can make one hell of a mess though. That's one thing.
Hey, you know what? You got to know your strengths, right? Your strengths, and everybody's good at something. But wait, what's that saying? It's everybody's good at something. Nobody's good at everything. That's the saying.
Well, that is a good saying. I'm still trying to work out what I'm good at the moment, so I'll come back to you on that one.
Okay.
I don't know. It sounds like if we give you a wrench or something like that in a vehicle, and say, "Here, this is broken," you might have half an idea of what to do.
Yeah, I'll be able to beat the living snot out of your car with a wrench. Yeah, that's please start.
So demolition, huh?
Now, I am supposed to fix it on paper. In real life, no word of a lie. It was back in the day when we were rebels driving around in our cars and all that kind of stuff. And one of my friends, he had a Vauxhall Nova or an Opel Nova, whatever country you're from, which it's a pretty old thing. And he literally had to start it in the morning by quite literally jumping on the engine in the morning. It was probably one of the most hilarious things I've ever seen in my life. And then when it broke down, he literally got out and smacked it with a hammer. And it started. I was like, okay. I've seen people hit it with a starter motor before. I was like, yeah, okay, but no, he was actually whacking this whole engine.
That sounds like watching the old Happy Days television show, watching the Fonz hit the jukebox with his fist and make it play.
Yeah, it was pretty much like that. It was exactly like that.
And other people try to do it, but they can't do it because only the Fonz can do it.
Yep. Oh god, yeah. God, bloody hell, that show has not aged well.
What are you talking about? He jumped over sharks in a jet ski with his leather jacket.
Oh god.
Which then subsequently gave us the expression when his show's doing really badly to jump the shark.
Right. So look, there is stuff on the paper.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's like I'm dipping it in a light bath.
Disappears, away it goes.
It's there.
You can see the blue shows up quite nicely. It's almost like you got two shades of blue, which is quite incredible. It's like a dark blue, and then you bring it down, it's a very light blue.
Yeah, once I finish or get closer to being done with this, I can now have a piece of artwork to adjust the light for. So hopefully that'll help me. It's a little difficult to be like, what's the right light for this on a blank white sheet of paper? It's like that was great.
I don't dare turn my camera on. For one, it's not working properly, and two, the lighting in here is just absolutely appalling. It's just crap. So I don't want to go out and buy any more lights yet. Not yet. No one's going to be watching me draw or build anything today, so I can get to sit back, relax, and my voice box do the work.
There you go.
Hopefully. For as long as it doesn't pack out on me. Or my daughter comes in and punches me in the front, whichever one.
Punches you.
Oh, mate, she's violent. My daughter, man, she is the most lethal thing in this house.
Oh, hello, father. Slug.
Yeah. Oh god, yeah. Like if I come home from work sometimes, I come home a long day at work, and it's like, oh hi, my loving family. She'll walk up to me, quite literally, smack me in the gonads, get me down the floor, and slap me, and then walk off. It's like,
how many times do I got to teach you this lesson, old man?
Yeah. And then my missus will come up and she says, "Can you change your nappy?" Yeah, don't worry, fine.
That's so good.
I'll just rediscover my manhood down here. Just
Yeah.
1 second.
Call me Dor. By the end of it, she keeps going like, "You're gonna be able to calling me Dorothy instead of Darren." The way she keeps going, it's like, oh. Man,
It sounds like you've already got the name picked out then.
Oh yeah, man. I've already working out what kind of dresses I'm gonna be wearing and all that kind of stuff.
You make me so proud.
Yeah. She'll be asking me later on in life, so Daddy, why are you called Dorothy now? Well, you kept smacking me in places that just kind of rescinded themselves.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's my family, that's my household.
So this, I'll say, Matt, this is actually a very interesting art challenge to do it this way. It's not a bad one. I'm intrigued. I might do this more. Might try to.
Yeah, I just sort of looking at that, and I'm almost sort of like, yeah, I just want to watch Kevin for a little bit. No, I better get back to my stuff.
Whoopsies. Whoopsie doodle.
Oh.
No, it's.
So speaking of Spock, I hashtag product placement. I have a Spock sticker I have for sale in my Etsy store for $1.
Yeah, right.
It's one of my sale stickers. I'm trying to actually clear through the inventory of it. But if anyone is interested.
So you're a bit of a Trekkie then, are you?
Oh yeah, yep. I am indeed.
Oh, you and my uncle will get on like a house on fire then. Jeez. God, bloody hell. So, well, he's a Trekkie but / Star Wars fan, but like he's kind of one of these kind of people. I don't know what kind of stuff he smokes, but he quite literally believes that the Enterprise is flying around the Earth protecting us from incoming stuff. I'm like,
no, I don't. Okay.
Yeah, he solely believe that. I mean, I don't know whether he was winding us up or not. I don't know. I like to believe that he is. It's like, especially when we were kids. Yeah, I remember sitting there watching the old classic Battlestar Galactica, and he's going, "Yeah, that was one of the first colonies that went out, and that the Americans have built it and all that kind of stuff, and it's up there protecting us from all this kind of stuff." I was like, Okay, Uncle David. Okay. Well, probably shouldn't have said his name. Sorry, Uncle David, if you're out there.
You've been exposed, Uncle David.
Yeah. But yeah, and it's like, oh yeah, no, they're out there protecting us from incoming aliens and all that kind of stuff. So what kind of aliens are we expecting? The Borg, the Romulans? What are we expecting? No, don't be ridiculous. Let's be the Silencers. Oh, God's sake. I thought I was being ridiculous in saying that the Borg even existed, but that was that was my childhood growing up, and like so even now he would have the argument, it's still he's one of these kind of people you can have a good old argue against. Well, like, what ship is better, a Star Destroyer or Enterprise or Sovereign class ship and all that kind of stuff, and like.
So the way I think about it, because I enjoy Star Wars as well. I'm a pretty big Star Wars fan. I'm one of those Star Wars fans that like if it's Star Wars, I like it.
Yeah,
like there's very little Star Wars things I don't like.
Yeah,
but I feel like Star Wars is very, very entertaining for me. Like I'm thoroughly entertained with it. Star Trek, I genuinely feel like, wow, this is very aspirational, and I really wish we can get there. Yeah. Like I feel like it's. I get that it's still fantasy, it's still fiction, but I'm just like, man, I feel like it could happen.
It could. I totally agree with that. I really do. I mean, because. Like the way they put it across is like this could generally happen, like I don't believe that the world will come together, get rid of money and like world peace and all that kind of stuff. I don't think that would ever happen, but like in general, going out exploring other planets in like these fantastical ships on like Star Wars, where it's just kind of like, well, Christ, I don't know whether that's a universe I really want to live in, to be honest. But in regards to everything else, it's like, yeah, Star Trek, I could really see kind of like, yeah, that could happen, living on a base. Well, they're basically ocean liners in space, really, aren't they? It's like the Captain Picard kind of era, they had civilians on board, priests and all that kind of stuff. As like,
those starships.
Yeah. But also had enough firepower to kind of like start a war. You're like, well, what are you? Are you a cruise liner or are you a battleship? Make up your mind. So, but no, it's a very interesting premise. Oh, we have another one in there. We have TZ is asking for the Infinity Gauntlet.
Infinity Gauntlet or Infinity Goblet? No, that could be interesting.
Yeah,
Infinity Goblet.
Infinity. Yeah, I think we're going with the Infinity Gauntlet. I think we're going. I've never heard of an Infinity Goblet yet.
Is that the one that Indiana Jones was looking for?
No, wasn't that the Holy Grail?
Oh, you're right. Never mind.
That was the Grail, yeah.
Yeah.
That was a different one.
We're getting our sci-fi mixed up.
Well, I'll definitely put that to one side for you, TZ. We'll make one of them. We will make it come true. We will.
And also a shout out to Helen and Mary, who in Australia, they usually watch this on replay. So thanks for stopping by, and hopefully you enjoy what you see, and you're getting 2 for the price of 1 tonight.
Hello to the future.
Yeah, appreciate all the folks that catch streams on the replay. That means a lot,
Yeah, no, it's funny because occasionally I go in and look at the analytics or things like that, and it's like, actually, it looks like somebody sat down and watched all 3 to 5 hours of the last one in one go. It's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
See, I can get away with quite a lot of that because I'm in my van for like 90% of my life, so I kind of just like put a lot of stuff on in the background, and like live stream podcasts are kind of like they can sit there in the background. I've got something to listen to, which is really nice. So yeah, sometimes
90% of your life.
Oh mate, it's too much of my time. Too much of my life is spent in this bloody van. Let me tell you,
that's a lot of time.
Oh, it is a lot of time. I say 90% of the time, sitting in the world's biggest car park on the M25. That's always a good one. Yeah, sitting in traffic, watching the world go by, just kind of thinking, Christ, yeah, feeling myself getting older.
I mean, I'll say that I have seen a handful of thumbnails on your channel of you sitting in a car.
Yeah, a lot of my thumbnails is like literally me just sitting in my van, just like, yeah, well, I've got 20 minutes. Let's make a thumbnail, I guess. Job is though, it's all high visibility, so it's it does kind of reflect back the light. We have Brett's Build in the chat as well. Hello, Brett's Builds. No worry.
Hinkles.
Don't worry, Jojo. We will get to your ones after we have Spock. We have Mr. Spock.
Okay, now that I've got that done-ish, I'm gonna see if I can adjust my lighting using that. That'll help me see what you are gonna see. Let's see here.
Just flick that across and
Yeah, that's fine. As long
that's
as
kind of weird.
I can still see it, so I can adjust it.
I gotta say, I've also got to say, while I got you here as well, a huge shout out to Matt Elder as well for sending me over the frame for the lovely picture that he drew for me a couple of days ago, a couple of weeks ago actually, I think it was now. So it's made my uncle happy because now he doesn't have to build a frame for me. So thanks for that.
Excellent. Yeah, no, that's fine because it's it's just good just to be able to quickly put them in a frame and do something quick with it. And no, it was great. Nice little surprise. I saw that up on your Instagram earlier, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, because we had my missus like instantly what she normally does is like, we have one of those cards put through our door. Can't be bothered to deliver it, so we'll just put these through your door. I was like, you could just, we live in a flat, just put it there, for God's sake.
Yeah, you managed to get it there.
Yeah. So my missus automatically got, what have you bought now? What Lego set have you bought now? So I haven't bought anything. I generally haven't bought anything. It's like, yeah. Just like, I haven't. I was like, I haven't done anything. So then obviously went down there. It's like, well, it looks like a Lego box. It's big. It's like, have I bought a Lego set? I don't know. Oh, it's a picture frame. All right. So what you said that was like.
So this is dark for me, but you can see the artwork better. So I don't know.
Yeah, that looks good.
Yeah, that's.
You can imagine sitting in a cave.
I'm just picturing you now. You just got a little light over the top of your head now. One of those little dinosaur lights. You just see.
I got two lights, one this way and one this way, but I don't know. Whatever. As long as you can see the art, that's all that matters. So there you go.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
We have all the way from the Canada lands, Elaine Park. Who's just dropped in to say hello.
Hello there,
Elaine. Great for you to join us, and the first time I think I may have seen you around, so that's brilliant. We're doing science fiction tonight, and we're doing some drawings. So if you've got any suggestions, then just let us know in the chat, and we'll probably get around and do a sketch of it. So the first one up was Star Trek, when we both decided to do Mr. Spock. And those are the two results there.
I got a feeling that JJ Jars is an MCU fan because it's either you got a choice of three, so you can either have an arc reactor, or you can have Iron Man, or the Hulkbuster, or all three.
So that brings up a good question: Is like the superhero genre, is that science fiction?
What did it come on?
I think it would. Oh no, you're baiting us into this one. Oh, I almost walked straight into that too.
I think in regards to the MCU, if we're going for the MCU, because now they've gone spacey now, haven't they? So
I mean, they've got a lot of technology. I'll give it that. There's a lot of technology in the Marvel films that is not really possible. So that's science fiction to a T. But I don't know if I like, in my normal way of thinking, if I consider like superhero films. I think I put them more in like action films, I guess. I don't know.
Sci-fi action, perhaps, or science fiction.
I don't know. I mean, it's just me. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Was that? So JJ was up next, anyhow. So what are we feeling like there? Are we feeling like Iron Man, Hulkbuster, or if we want to get really specific, the Mark 42?
Yeah, you got the Mark 42.
We could do 2 for 1, because arc reactor is suggested and Iron Man is suggested, and so that's kind of the same thing.
Same thing, yeah. And I'm thinking it's funny because I think the last couple of streams I've done an Iron Man, and it wasn't JJ. Which it's worked out well, because funnily enough, Solo should mention that about the frames. I just ordered a whole bunch of them, and My son in particular, he really likes them, so they've all been framed now. So it's like, well, that was cheap for the price of one. So I'm feeling like a Hulkbuster because I haven't actually drawn that version of it. But if Kevin, you whatever you feel like,
it's all good. Yeah, I think I've seen, at least from your recaps, I think I've seen a couple Iron Men already from you, and I don't mind doing a Hulkbuster. That's fine.
Okay, we'll do that one.
He's very adamant. There's the Mark 42 for the Iron Man suit. If anyone's going to join the Iron Man suit,
he's pretty adamant.
Probably sometimes is when you go looking for it, you sort of like, okay, well, there's a Mark 42, but then it's not a great one, and then you see like a Mark 38 or something. It's like that's actually a really cool pose.
Yeah.
All right, Hulk.
Oh, Brett Spills has come out of probably one of my favorite ones, Judge Dredd. Oh, I love Judge Dredd.
Oh, that could be really, really cool. Yeah,
that's I've never seen that, so that's on the list.
The newest film. I don't know whether you've seen the newest one.
I haven't seen anything, so
Kevin, it is absolutely. It is brutal, absolutely brutal film to watch. But oh my god, it's great.
Yeah.
The man that never removes his helmet. It's great. Absolutely love it.
All right, let's get.
And me personally, played by one of the most underrated actors in Hollywood. I think he's brilliant.
Well, Sylvester Stallone.
No, not that much.
That was back when superhero movies, if they actually made it to the big screen, it was a miracle. So
it was a miracle. But the thing is, obviously, Judge Dredd is supposed to not remove his helmets, and obviously, being that Sylvester Stallone, I got to have my helmet removed. Oh, come on, mate! You're not exactly the prettiest person to look at, so keep your helmet on.
You're not the prettiest person to look at.
I know. You shouldn't judge people by the way they look. I know. But I mean, this is Judge Dredd we're talking about. He's not supposed to remove his helmet, so keep it on.
I love it. You're throwing out the one-liners faster than I can.
Yeah, I've got a thing for doing something like that sometimes.
Well, it doesn't bother me. It's not my channel.
No, exactly. Matt's definitely been part of my streams and like definitely sat back and watched them, and I have this kind of tendency of either going a bit too close to actually insulting entire countries and causing World War III.
Entire countries.
Yeah.
It's almost like a bingo card. You can just have it out there. He'll make an insult to some country. He'll be extremely tired and not realize what he's saying. He'll.
Oh yeah, that's dangerous. When you get really tired, that's dangerous territory.
Yeah. 9 times out of 10, whenever time I'm doing a stream, apart from a weekend, like today, like a Saturday, I'm generally severely sleep deprived. It's probably come to some days I've only had like 2 hours sleep, so I'm like kind of like sitting on the stream like,
Dang, that's rough.
Yeah, it is pretty rough. I end up kind of like not intentionally, but it's just everything just kind of takes over. I'm like, I kind of think about it like the next day. I was like,
what's the main reason for that? Is that kiddos? Is that
it's just work?
What is it? Work?
Just work. Yeah, just work. Yeah, work is like almost like the primary part of my life at the moment, which I'm desperately trying to change and desperately trying to get out of it. But yeah, man, it takes over quite a lot of my life. I think I spend about like every Sunday I'm generally home, but if the work phone goes off, then I've got to race out. So
how many hours a week do you work?
I'm contracts at 49, but I think it's more like 76 hours, 79 hours.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think the other thing to appreciate, Kevin, is it'd be like, let's just say you're in Connecticut, and they're like, okay, right, you now have a job in what's another state near you somewhere? Just
like
trying to think of
Massachusetts or something.
Yeah, say Massachusetts. So you finish at say 6 o'clock, and it's sort of like, right, now you have to drive home, and that's on you.
Oh yeah, do you have like a big commute? Is like you have to drive far to get to your job?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, my job is my van. Yeah, that is it. But obviously, I've got to drive to said warehouse to fix up. Like last year, they used to send me to like America and all that kind of stuff, and yeah, they were paying me for that. But now, obviously, all this coronavirus is kind of like ruining everything and ruining people's lives.
I was told it affects nobody by my president, but I don't believe him.
Yeah, well, it's definitely affected my pocket. Let me tell you, 'cause I'm not getting any overtime, so you can go and you can tell your president that one. Like,
I tell him a lot of things. It's just funny because you're like, this is affected. I was like, I thought he just recently said that affects no one, but I mean, that's
I'm not going to say he's a lunatic, just in case he's not, just in case he's listening, just by any chance. But yeah, he's a lunatic. Yeah, he's definitely talking out of an area that he probably shouldn't be talking out of.
So what's interesting is back when I was still working for the Brick at the Lego office in Enfield, Connecticut, there was not a lot, but there were some people that worked for Lego but lived in either Boston or lived in New York City, and that was crazy to me. Because if you lived in Boston, you would have a 2-hour commute to get to the office in Enfield. And if you lived in New York City, you'd have a 3-hour commute. But they did it. They did not last forever.
I'll bet.
Those people were usually there for a couple of years, and they were like, after a lot of contemplation, I've decided that the commute is just too much, and I got to spend time on family. I'm like, what part did you ever think that 2 hours or 3 hours was going to be a decent commute? But it never failed that as soon as one person would leave, somebody else would start working there, and they'd also live in either New York or Boston. They do these ridiculous commutes. I guess they just think that working for Lego is so great that it's worth, adding 3 to 6 hours to your day every day. It's like, man.
As much as I would love to work for Lego just primarily for the discount, I don't think it would be the end all and end all for me, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy talk.
No, that's Rob, probably, I don't know. I've never worked for Lego. I know obviously you have, but I imagine it's probably a good company to work for, but probably not the best company as well at the same time. I think every company is going to have their ups and downs. So
yeah, it's not a bad company. I think it's just it's not a bad company by any means. I just think a lot of fans think it's a magical company that can do no wrong, and that it's and that's by no means the case.
Oh, definitely not. I mean, I've got a friend that works for Lego. She's coming to the end because she's come down with this horrible illness of a child. And so she's decided to hand in a notice. She's let me loose on a discount card. So I was like, thank you very much.
She's let me loose.
It's like, thank you very much. I'll take a bit of that. So 50% off some Lego sets, but she's had to give it to me like 2 months before she bloody quit. So I was like, God, I could have got myself the Batmobile and the Millennium Falcon all at the same time, and still, oh God, now I've got to really kind of like pick and choose now. Which one do I want to get?
Make sure you don't accidentally say that name.
No, I'm not going to say her name. Definitely not. Or his name. No, not her.
It's not. That's not Uncle David.
It's not Uncle David. No, if it was, oh man, yeah. We had a couple of new people here. We have Sean Lego Studios as well. Hello, Sean. Welcome. And we have the Brickmaker.
Welcome, both people. Good to see you. Some regulars coming back.
Yeah.
Hello, regulars.
I could definitely say that Lego is definitely not the be and end all, but they definitely got probably one of the most unique toy kind of like setup going that no other toy manufacturer is actually able to kind of beat at the moment. So,
hey, you know what they say? It's a new toy every day. It can basically be anything you want it to be, which is
exactly. And I don't think any toy manufacturers managed to do that yet. I mean, you can pull a Lego set apart. Don't need to throw it in a bin. Just build it in something else or put it into a Lego bin. But a toy, a kid will break, and then that's that. It's
now I don't know how I feel about all these wacky promotions with Levi and Adidas. And
oh God, don't get me started.
And all kinds of other
please don't. Please don't get me started on that, please.
What are you doing?
I don't want to do that. Sean Studios, if you want to request anything, pop it in there, and I will pass it on to the two talented drawers here.
Thank you for saying that we're talented.
Well, someone's got to be talented on here, and I'm definitely not it. So
someone's got to have the talent.
Someone's got to have the talent. So, and being that I can't afford to save my life, it's got to come down to you guys.
I didn't. I have a lot of markers that are actually on their last little leg here. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I've got much the same sort of thing. Do you try to squeeze every last little drop out of them?
I mean, they're a lot of mine.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
I just like, as I'm drawing this and I'm realizing that some of these are definitely on their last leg, I'm like, oh no, that's like, I got to sell like 10 stickers to buy a new marker.
Everybody in the chat, buy Mr. Hinkle stickers so you can afford to buy new pens.
I need to buy in order to make more artwork. I need you to, yeah. You know, it's a good question. I try to just like really get, you know, every drop out of it because of how much they cost. And that's really the only reason, is because of how much they cost. But then again, if I push it too much, you get all those streaks and stuff in it. And it's just like, I don't want that to look bad. So it's kind of a, I don't know, lose.
Yeah. Well, it depends. Like, I mean, I have, when it's with the marker stuff, a lot more of a, I guess, a scratchy style. It's not as polished and graphic, I guess. So,
and you know, that's exactly what I go for. I'm like, how graphic and polished can I make this?
Yeah. That's what every 2 seconds I'm sort of looking across at yours is like, oh wow, that's brilliant. I love that. It's like, oh, you should get back to drawing.
Okay, so I did the colors. All right. Okay.
So Sean's Lego Studio, Studios has requested Hal Jordan's Green Lantern. I'll pass that along. Elaine Park is currently building the Astronomy Tower while you draw.
Oh, awesome!
Is the Astronomy Tower a Harry Potter thing, or I'm not clued up? I'm not clued up on Harry Potter.
Yeah, it's Harry Potter.
Right, cool.
Yeah,
wow, that was a good guess from me. That was.
So a little bit of the word on the street from some of my American pals was that that's a brand new Harry Potter set and also marked down on sale, I think, at Walmart. And I was like, that's a new set on sale? That's interesting. All right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of sales going on at the moment. A lot of sets.
New stuff?
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah. It's like, it feels like sets will come out for, generally, they'll be out for 4 to 6 weeks, and then they'll start going on sale. I mean, some of them, like the Mario ones, I think started going on sale within a couple of days. But, you know, it's like £5 or £10. So it's not massive, but it's enough to be sort of like, yeah, if you're not hardcore and you can wait 3-4 weeks or something like that, you're going to get a better price.
I mean, because I was really surprised at those art sets, all apart from the Iron Man one, isn't it? That they down on price. I was like, yeah, of course they leave the best one not on discount.
They're not stupid.
No, but the thing is, I don't know whether is that a Lego store exclusive, the Iron Man one? Because I haven't seen, or I don't know whether Argus are selling it here in the UK. I don't know, but I seen the Lego store.
Yeah, they still do that? I didn't think they even did that anymore.
Well, they seem to do it here anyway. I can't speak for America because they
exclusives for Lego store.
Yeah, they go exclusive to the Lego store, and then you'll find it in one random thing. Like sometimes it will be for us either Argos or I think the other one sometimes is John Lewis, because John Lewis
and Smith Toys, they're quite the big contender as well, aren't they?
Yeah, or that could be the other one. So, because John Lewis, you know, had a fantastic thing on the diner a little while ago, and I went and grabbed that, and it went through the usual process, and then it got to dispatched. And it's like, okay, tomorrow you can go and pick it up. And then at the time to go and pick it up, they've just gone, oh, it's delayed.
Psych! That was a psych out.
And so I just sort of waited a couple of days and then waited, and it was just delayed, and there's no further follow-up. So then I started following up with their customer service, which turned out to be an absolute disaster, because you get so conditioned with Amazon and things like that, where they know what's happening, you know exactly where. They make it really simple to. No, it was just a complete disaster. They didn't care anything like that.
World-class customer service.
I generally agree with you, Matt. But in regards to Amazon, obviously they've done a massive mess up with my Razor Crest, so they definitely didn't know where that was going. So,
well, man, I remember lurking in one of those streams. I don't know whose it was. I don't know when it was, but I remember you. So you were on a tear about a Razor Crest.
Yeah,
everybody kept bringing it up on purpose, and it was so funny.
Yeah, that was Solo's stream. Yeah. I remember that one because I was there drawing all the different little things.
That was so good. Everybody was having so much fun, so much fun torturing you.
Yeah, that's that was a thing. Yeah, I'm now I've ended up with two of them, and I want two of them. So yeah, I was having the living ripped out of me, and the trouble is, my blood pressure was starting to rise quite quickly. I was like, oh, must stay calm.
You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Job is, I'm a bit. If I was the Hulk, I'll be a bit of a slightly confused Hulk. So I'll start turning green. I'll probably start turning blue or something like that. It's like, I don't know what I'm doing with this power. We have the Space Odyssey, who's requesting the Terminator. Welcome, Space Odyssey. I was expecting like actually the Space Odyssey show.
Oh, yeah, cool. Yeah, no. And welcome along to Space Odyssey, and great to see you here. And also got Bricks Lost. Welcome along.
House.
Welcome in.
But it's really funny because eventually with the whole John Lewis thing or whatever, it just was getting nowhere and it was just really frustrating me. So eventually just randomly went onto one of those websites to get like the email address of the CEO. I did that. And I wrote them a pretty lengthy and very to the point, shall we say, email. The next day I get a phone call from their secretary apologizing and oh, look, what can we do? Oh, okay, we can, I see the item's out of stock. If it comes back in, we can price match it, this, that, and the other, and we'll give you a goodwill gesture. Here's a gift voucher as well. And it's like, oh, okay, so it was actually worthwhile complaining. So
I love it. I remember being on the opposite ends of those emails. we would have certain whatever, it doesn't really matter the specifics, but a thing would happen, and then a member of the Lego fan community would complain and be like, that's how it is, like, I'm sorry, but sometimes it's just like, I mean, there's legitimate times to complain, and sometimes there's just AFOLs being AFOLs, and it's like, no, that's not how it works. I know that's how you want it, but that's not how it works.
It works. Well, there was
every now and then they would get either Kel's email or Jorn V's email, and they'd be like, so we talked to your community team and they said this, that, or the other. And anytime that happened, that was a game over from us. It was like, we don't care what it is. We don't care if it's hypocritical or not. You need to bend the rule and fix this so I don't get this email again. It's like, all right. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. This one. Yeah, it was I think it may have been Brothers Brick or one of the websites in the last couple of days. They had an interview with the QA people in Lego, and they
that was
did you see it?
New Elementary.
New Elementary. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, it was New Elementary, and they were going. Basically, surprisingly enough, there's a lot of issues with minifigures out of like Star Wars sets and. I can't remember the other one, but it's sort of like, you never have the same problem with like the city sets or anything like that with the generic figures, but it seems to like.
Yeah. Yep. I'm going to go I need to get a new marker. A new Sharpie because this one is dead. So I'll be right back.
Oh, that's awesome.
Here's I just need to do like an outline around it, but there's.
Looking good, man. That's looking good.
That is brilliant.
Thank you.
Bricksoft says my third happy couple has have adopted a dog. Yeah, Bricksoft has now got a dog by the sound of it. So, TZ's asked for Alien. I'm guessing the Xenomorph. I'm guessing from Alien. I'm guessing. Being that's the only kind of alien I really know from Alien. Bricksoft, I was just looking on Insta. So Matt, are you drawing the comic version of the Hulkbuster then, are you?
What is this comment from Space Odyssey? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. What is this nonsense?
I haven't got a clue.
That's from your science fiction comment. What is science fiction? No, I'm just making it up.
I try and Google it, see if it's an actual thing, but I haven't got a clue.
You'll probably get one of those things that's like, unlisted random phone number spam.
Oh no, it's one of those.
I mean, I saw that. This is the weirdest thing. I actually saw it where Space Odyssey put that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I was like, damn! Instead of getting you draw Spock, I should have gone like full on wacky, and maybe Mr. Kevin might actually know this one. But I should have gone. It's like, oh, you should have drawn species 8479. Oh, that would have been a good one to draw.
That live in that weird space-time bubble vortex. The only species the Borg has fear.
Yes. Yes. Oh, yes. I can sense the man knows his Trek stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sort of like, I'll just stay back and listen to what you guys talk about, because then I'll know what you're talking about.
So I've watched all of the television series up to Discovery. I was not a fan of the paying for a subscription service. I really wasn't. I still am not a fan of all these streaming services. It's just like, it's getting out of hand.
That.
But I've seen several times through Next Generation, Voyager, Deep Space Nine. I've only watched the original series once through because I grew up on Next Generation. That was my first Star Trek.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I was all about it. And so, of course, I kept the journey going. So I watched Enterprise and Voyager and Deep Space Nine. And then I went back later in life and said, I should probably watch the original series. And I watched it, and I do really love Spock. I'm all about Spock. He's awesome. But I'm like, this is really interesting because surely I'm not the only one who realizes that every episode has an issue in which Kirk needs to somehow seduce a female alien. Really odd. This is really, really odd.
I think this was. I can't remember if it was on your stream last time, Matt, or it was on Greg's stream or something like that. But that was the bit that always gets me. Is like Picard comes out, Kirk comes over, is like, "Oh, hello, pretty lady," and I'm kind of thinking, that's an alien. How do you know that you're kissing her mouth? But like, how do you know that's her mouth? You know, it's like that could be her. You know,
there's like this one episode, and like I said, I've only watched that series one time through, so I'm not an expert. But there was this one episode where they were like in a, I want to say it was some planet where they made it like the Roman Empire or something.
Yeah,
they're in like an actual jail cell, like with bars, and he's like, I'm gonna seduce the jailer. Like he just like straight up said, like, all right, here's my plan. I'm gonna seduce her.
Yeah. You blatantly know that he turned up on set, didn't he? It's like, she was pretty nice. Write down the script, could you please, mate? Brilliant.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I get that it's like it's a piece of its time, right? It's a period piece for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
But I'm just like, here I am. I don't have the nostalgia for it like I do with all the other series, and I'm just like, why is this the solution to every problem? Why is this always how we're getting out of it?
We'll just bang my way out of this situation. Don't worry about it, boys. I'll take this one.
To be fair, though, I mean, it was, you know, when you think about when it was made, it was in the 60s. It was of that time of free love and expression and all the rest of it. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still, you know, there's a lot I appreciate about it. And like I said, I'm all about Spock. I'm like, Spock is like definitely the star of that show.
Oh yeah, amen to that. Yeah.
You know, there's a reason that the character of Spock has transcended into like every series since then.
The only thing that I ever find with like Star Trek, like you're coming from the original series and then going straight into Next Generation, is like you've got this guy who will sleep with everything that's got a pulse, and then going straight into this like very, very like British kind of like what's the word, monarchy kind of like style. Is like okay. They soon changed that. You must not sleep with any more aliens now. We've got to get away from that.
You must not sleep with any more aliens.
Yeah, let's go on with it. Let's go on this own thing. It's like it's. Then obviously then you got like void.
All the folks, the regular listeners, you guys need to hook us up with all of Solo. Put this timestamps of all the great one-liners from Solo. I want quote, "You must not sleep with any more aliens" added to the list.
That was 54, 56. That was.
There we go.
There we go. We got it there. It's like, we can go through. You know how you do like your 5-minute recaps on your stream or whatever. We can just go back in our mind. We'll just do all the Solo one-liners.
Let's do the highlight reel of Solo comments.
My comment section next time, if that comes out, my comments are going to be, "Oh, you're being sexist. You're doing that. You're just being rude." I was like, yes, no.
All right, let me get a new piece of paper.
Yeah, I think we're good with that. So both of those there. Those, what size are you doing yours, Kevin? Are they?
I'm
They
using
look great.
It's 6 by 8 inches.
6 by 8. Okay, so slightly bigger than a photo sort of thing. Yeah, no, that looks good. Is that a card stock?
It's marker paper, so it's a little thicker than like copy paper.
Yeah. Cool. So what's the next one on that we had up?
So you had Iron Man, so you done the Hulk Buster, so you got Brett Bill's Judge Dredd.
Oh yeah, we should probably do that one, shouldn't we?
So you got a Stallone version, or you got the newer version, which I can never remember the actor's name. But
if we just keep the helmet on, it can be whichever one you want him to be.
Oh yeah. I mean, the helmet's pretty much exactly the same. So yeah, go nuts.
Now I'm probably going to be spelling it wrong.
JJ Jar's loving the Hulk Busters. Yeah, he says they look amazing. I definitely do.
So do you, Matt? Do you typically sell any of the doodles or the drawings? Now, these are not doodles here. The drawings you do on your streams.
It's something which I've been thinking about. Like I've got obviously a ton of them now, and yeah, I mean, it's a few people have requested specific ones, like particularly the pets ones we did a little while ago. I haven't really sold too many as such, but it's certainly something which is in the back of my mind. It's just and then one of them ended up with Solo because he helped me out on a couple of the streams, and obviously this one. So that was one that he requested. So yeah, but no, it's certainly something which if we can get the extra value out of it, then yeah. I mean, what's your thoughts? I mean, those ones there that you've done, it's like, yeah, I'd probably pay for those. It's like,
I mean, these are going for sale for sure. So one of the things that I've learned now that like, I mean, things change when you have to like rely on the income from your art. Like that's like a whole different arena. And so my mentality before has always been like, oh, that's not good enough, or I'll put that I'll store it away for later. And now I'm like, hey, I spent time on this. Want to buy it? Like, it's just like, as long as I take photos of it, everything's free game. I'm like, it's up. It's free. It's available. And so I don't really do that with the digital doodles because they're just digital and it's a little different. But I have been contemplating the idea for some time now of doing like a book. Once I get to like I want, like, it has to be a hefty book, I think, to justify, but filling it up with doodles that way. But since these are physical traditional drawings, I'll probably put these up for sale on my Etsy store or something like
Etsy there. Yeah, no, definitely. It's funny you should mention that about the book, because whenever I do the weekly like 1-page summaries, for the stream or whatever, they're set up as on like a proper page sort of thing. Because my thought was very much the same. It's like, once I've done 50 or maybe 100 of these, then if they're already in there, it's like there's the 100 pages. It's already they're ready to go. So
exactly.
Yeah, none of this sort of like, it's set up to be printed from the word go, because I don't want to have to go back through, potentially at that stage maybe the better part of 1,000 ones and have to figure out and scan them and all the rest of it. It's like, did that at the time.
Yeah, that sounds like an administrative nightmare.
Yeah, that just sounds like a lot of work to me. What?
Exactly.
2 seconds. 2 seconds.
So
but yeah, it's one of those things that I've changed my thought process on selling my art a lot in recent years. I'm like, if you want to buy it, you can buy it. I just make sure I take photos of it so that I have, evidence that I made it.
Yeah,
I did actually draw it. I promise you.
Exactly.
Well, I've always done that. Like, I've got a folder on my hard drive where I just put like a version of every piece of art which I've ever done, and then they're all sequentially numbered because I'm just a little bit retentive that way. But it's interesting because you'll go back years later and it's like, oh, I've forgotten I'd even done that. Like,
yeah, exactly.
When you guys all hit your million subscribers, oh, look at those good old days when I just used to sit there and draw.
Cool mail, huh? I appreciate that support. That's right there. That's the way to think about it.
Yeah. You gotta look into the future. Look at it. Embrace it.
That's that positive.
I can't look at myself. Well, a million subscribers. Well, it's taken me 2 years to get to where I have. Wow, it's going to take me another 60 years, perhaps.
I think it's an exponential thing once you get moving with it. So you look at I remember doing like a little Lego mock-up thing for my 100 subscribers when I got the 100th subscriber, and since then, like getting the next couple hundred, it's been a lot easier than those first 100.
Yeah, all the milestones.
Yeah, but they always say getting the first 100 is the hardest 100 that you would ever get. So, like, that is kind of true. I think always kind of true. Yeah, my God, Kevin, you can bosh out a drawing quick. Crikey, man.
Oh well, thank you. I'm just trying to kind of, I'm taking kind of the same approach to this that I do with my doodle stream, which it's all about, not necessarily making masterpieces, but, quickly kind of getting stuff on the paper and moving on. This is definitely not the speed at which I work when I do like a commission or anything like that. But it's just like, let's see how quick I can do this.
Not a race. Don't worry, chill out. Elaine Part says Picard was worth the payments because it was a Mel Brit into a Mel's worth watching. Yeah,
so,
Picard.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, go on. You first, because I could quite potentially take the conversation the wrong direction.
So as I was mentioning, I have not paid for the NBC over here, the NBC subscription or whatever service they have. So I'm like, I can't do it. I'm not going to do it. I also don't have the Disney Plus either. But I've got some friends who have helped me out. That's all I'll say. And so they're like, here you go. And so I had a friend that was able to help me watch Picard. And I binge watched Picard in one day.
Right.
Because I was so excited. I was like, I got to do it. So I spent all day Saturday about a month ago, and I watched the whole season of Picard. And then I've been watching Discoveries a little bit slower. And I wasn't as big of a fan of Picard. I was like, okay, this was kind of neat, but what? I was like, what happened?
Yeah. I mean, I was kind of starting to get the grips on. Yeah, I was like, all right, okay, this is the way it's going. Yeah, all right, they're starting to swear more in it. I was like, yeah, all right, they're trying to make it a bit more gritty. But then when it came to like the final part, I really kind of find it believe that a flower can take on an entire fleet. I was like, right, okay, that's a thing. I was not expecting that. It was like watching all these flowers come up. I was like, flowers versus lasers. I wonder who's going to win that fight.
Flowers versus lasers. I mean, that was some ridiculous stuff. And it's just like, oh, lens flares.
Oh, God.
I was like, did J.J. Abrams make this show?
Yeah, I was like, thank you, JJ, for the lens flares. Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Yeah, we'll put a light in front of a bloody camera for crying out loud. But yeah, it's a bit over the top sometimes.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it wasn't bad. I didn't hate it. I didn't dislike it, but it wasn't what I wanted it to be.
No.
And then I've been. I just finished season 1 of Discovery, and I am in love with it. I'm like, this is awesome.
Really, I was the opposite. I was kind of thinking, what the hell? Because I cannot, for the life of me, like Vernon. I cannot stand her. There's just something about her. It's like, my God, woman, smile for God's sake. You know, there must be a bone in your body that can lift those cheekbones up just to give a little smile. It's like
she was raised by Vulcans.
Oh God, yeah, but she's not even Spock smiled once, but
he smiled on the pilot.
Exactly.
That was before Vulcans were emotionless.
Oh God, bloody gosh. Jesus, mate. Even when there was like actually something funny going on, we're gonna die soon. Yeah, it's all pretty depressing stuff. I was like, oh my god, come on.
I'm actually I'm a big fan of that actress. I think she's really, really good. I was a fan of hers on The Walking Dead because I used to be a big Walking Dead fan until that show went off the rails.
Yeah.
I'm no longer a Walking Dead fan, but I remember because I used to watch Walking Dead every time a new episode. I'd watch it live on TV, and I remember the episode in which she died, and that same night they had the very first trailer that Discovery was happening, and she was the main. I was like, that's why she died. I was like, there we go. Now I know why she died.
Yeah. It's just something about I admired them. I admired the show when it went into the alternative universe. I thought that was really good, seeing the Terran Empire and all that kind of stuff. I was like, yeah, finally we're gonna get some interesting stuff going on here, and it's just kind of like,
Mirrorverse is always great.
That was good. I did really like that. I did enjoy that. So they have plenty of concepts there, but I think there's also a few things that they did kind of get wrong. It's like, because also this is supposed to lead straight into original trilogy, and like.
The one thing I don't know if I like it or not. I'm just accepting it. I'm accepting.
Yeah.
The fact that she's shoehorned in as like Spock's adopted sister.
And like, never mentioned again.
Okay, I'll accept it.
The bit I couldn't accept is like they come into the end of it and like Spock's there standing there with his commanding officer. You must never speak of this again. It's like, you got to be kidding me. You're going into the next like load of things, and you cannot tell me it's like one point he's going to sit there with Kirk. Yeah, I had an adopted sister. I was like, you're going to, aren't you? It's like automatically he's just going to obey the law, and it's like, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's when you start
nothing to me now. She's nothing.
Kind of weird retcon things.
Yeah,
but yeah. So I've been though. I really like the way it looks, and so I've only done season 1. I'm about to start season 2. They ended with answering the hail from the Enterprise. That was
I mean, without giving away too much do you know that it was? Do you know who's going to be on the next ship? Do you know if it's going to be Kirk or Pike yet? Or
no.
Okay. Well, without giving out too much away, the guy that's going to be in that ship that you're going to see in the next season, they're actually going to be doing a spin-off show from him, which is going to be, which, to be honest, I'm a big fan of that because I really liked him. I think he was probably, if not the best part of the entire show, to be honest. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, he was really, really good. So, yeah, and apparently Netflix, they're going to be making a spin-off show from him. I was like, yes, Queen, I'll have that.
Yes.
Yeah, so the bit that gets me is then like Paramount turned around and says, well, when we do these next shows, they're going to be, we're going to have even more gay people in it, even more like strong female women. I was like, oh, not this again. I'm all for strong females and equality and all that kind of stuff, but stop announcing it. Just make a good show, please.
You know what's one of my favorite quotes from who's it? I think it's from Morgan Freeman, I think. Where somebody asked him, they said, when do you think racism will be done? And he said, when we stop talking about it.
Yeah.
And that's like one of my favorite quotes.
And he's 100% right. I generally think he's 100% right. When it doesn't matter, to me, and probably a lot of people in the UK, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Like racism is just like, but I know obviously over in America, I mean,
we're dealing with some things, right? Right now.
You've got some things. I'm not going to touch on it.
We're just going to say we're dealing with some things right now.
I'm guessing a lot of people have heard about it, but it's just like.
But yeah, it's very clear though that like it's not a problem with the kids of today, and every generation it becomes. I mean, nobody's born racist.
No,
nobody's. You're not born into that mindset.
No.
And so it's just kind of interesting because it is an issue. It absolutely is an issue, but it's like. The youth, right? Youth will save us. It's always the kids. Kids, man. Just kidding. Yep. I'm going to just say.
We messed it up. You fix it now, please. Thank you very much. I'm going to have a beer. Space Odyssey's actually got a question. He says, "It's ET sci-fi?"
Oh yeah, I would say that's sci-fi.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. Don't worry, Sean. We'll get to yours soon enough. We've just got a couple more just to kind of breeze through, I think. I think actually yours is up next, Sean. Hal Jordan's Green Lantern. Yours is up next. So have no fear.
So you know what's interesting? I'm actually I'm doing virtual BrickCon next weekend. The Seattle-based show, and it's very different. I've done some of the virtual brick worlds, and I've been doing stuff like this where I draw for people, and I try to be like, hey, buy my stuff, go to this website, go here, go here, go here. And it's like it hasn't really done much of anything. But next weekend for BrickCon, I'm a virtual vendor, so I have like a virtual booth, like you can like virtually tour it. It's really weird. So like technically I don't need to be there at all. It's just like when you go to the show, you click on people's booths and then you go in and you have all the products on there, and then each product has a link so you can buy it. So the link takes you to my Etsy store and the listing. But I'm really curious I'm actually curious if I get a single sale out of it. But I'm like, what is it? Interesting to see the future of virtual shows like that.
Yeah, I mean, because we got a thing as well at the moment over here where you can, like, if you want to buy a house, you can do a virtual room tour. I was like, yes, but you still can't judge to see how big it is, because obviously, I don't know whether you ever use like the virtual reality Samsung thing that comes out.
Yeah,
you kind of get this distortion kind of look to it as well. So it's almost like it's like bowed out a bit. I'm like,
yeah, that's true. Like a fisheye lens or something.
Yeah, and you kind of think, wow, that looks massive, and then you buy it, like, my God, you could barely fit a pencil in here.
I should probably get another sheet of paper, shouldn't I? All right, let's see.
Sean, that is a question that no one can answer. They're both good.
It's not a competition. It's not a
competition.
It's only
Kevin's winning, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, why did that?
So I'll put Space Odyssey's one up there. I think Space Odyssey's got a couple.
Oh, Matt, are you going to do Inktober? Are you familiar with Inktober?
Yeah. I was. I was thinking about doing it, but it's because they're obviously splitting it and fragmenting it. So there's actually one. I think they're doing Comictober, where they're doing a whole list of different comics. So you have each day the suggestion is either. There's 3 suggestions. It's sort of like there's a Marvel character, a DC character, and an Image or alternative character.
Sure.
And the thing which I've always wanted to do, and I know it's a long answer to it. I've always wanted to learn how to do digital sculpting properly. So I'm thinking of maybe just every day doing like a bust in a sculpt.
Oh man. Okay. Cool.
Sort of thing. Just to, it's one of those things where if you're just doing it and you're forcing yourself, you get better at it.
Yeah.
So short version, yes, but maybe doing it in a slightly different way.
Yeah. I mean, I think most people that do it kind of customize it to their self somehow.
Are you doing it?
I think so. I'm a little worried because I have a lot of stuff going on this time. Like I'm kind of busy. But the thing that got me through it last year is that I forced myself to only draw for 15 minutes on it each day. That was it. So it was like if the prompt for the day was, Mario, I was like, all right, I get 15 minutes to do Mario and then it's done. And that actually worked really well, so that I was able to do it for the whole month. And I was thinking originally that I was going to bump it up to like maybe 20 minutes or 30 minutes. I do like having the forced time limit because I think that keeps it consistent.
Yeah.
But I think I might keep it at 15 minutes.
15 minutes, and if you like what you're doing, it might go a little bit longer.
Yeah. All right, so what we're doing, Hal Jordan,
Green Lantern. Yeah.
Okay.
It's up to you if you want to call Ryan Reynolds or not.
No, I'm going to do the Spectre version. Just because when I was a kid, that comic was released at the time, and it's probably one of my favorite Green Lantern stories. Basically, where he goes through and it was basically on the tail end of the Superman story, where they killed Superman and brought him back. As one of the things which happened in that storyline, they destroyed Hal Jordan's Coast City where he came from. So he went a bit crazy and decided to revamp the whole city using his power. And the Guardians said, no, you can't do that. So they sent all the other Guardians out to kill him and bring him in. And he just ripped all the way through them.
Yeah. No. Have you ever read the Injustice comics?
Oh, that's great.
Aware of it, but yeah, no.
Those Injustice comics are great.
They're amazing, absolutely amazing.
I mean, very disturbing, but great.
Oh yeah, big time. Yeah. It's like all it takes for Superman to go nuts is just literally Lois Lane to get wiped out, and it's like,
oh, too right. Didn't you feel it when you read it? You're like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. And then it just kind of just goes absolutely mad from there. It's like, my God, can this ever come back from this? Like, how could you?
Nope, can't.
And you're kind of like looking at Batman as like, you're going up against an absolute unhinged, he's got no moral compass anymore, and you're going to go up against him. It's like, yeah, mate, if I was you, mate, I'll be packing my bags and just taking all my money and going to Barbados or something like that, mate. He's all yours, mate.
I mean, that being said, he's the only person I'd be like, okay, only Batman has a chance.
Yeah.
He's the only one that's got.
I'll tell you what I'll be doing in that situation. I'll be like, Marvel, can we borrow some of your superheroes as well? Because this guy's a lunatic, you know. Because I kind of look at like the Superman, well, the DC universe. You're like, well, you got Superman. Obviously, he's like the apex of the entire kind of thing. It's like, who else could take on Superman like one-on-one? It's like, well, it's only really Batman because he's the only one smart enough to kind of like know what to fight him with, which is kind of ironic when you got like Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, and all that kind of stuff. It's like, damn, that's kind of ridiculous when you think about it. You know, it's like, what about Martian Manhunter? Surely he must be strong enough to take him on.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't remember what video. There was a video game somewhere.
Yeah, there was. Yeah.
I mean, I know there was maybe it was the Injustice video game. I don't know if it was that one, but there was one where you get to hear all of Batman's files on every Justice League, and it's like hearing him and his voice just like talk about all of them, and it's just like, this guy, he's got all the contingency plans ready.
Oh mate, yeah. He's got every contingency plan to take on Green Lantern to Squirrel Girl. So that's unbelievable, Squirrel Girl. God, what a character! I can't remember what I know Squirrel Girl. No, she's actually from Marvel, isn't she? No, she was actually the one that beat Thanos, wasn't she? That's
what?
Yeah. She actually beat Thanos. Which
I don't even know. I mean, I know of Squirrel Girl, but I don't know anything about it. But the fact that you're just like, oh yeah, that's the one that beat Thanos.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Just kind of just beat him. I was like, hang on a second. You just read the comic book where he's beaten down Iron Man in his like most advanced suit. He's beaten Thor and all this kind of stuff. And then Squirrel Guy comes along, throws a squirrel in his face. Job done. Wow.
Squirrel in his face.
And this was the most ridiculous thing. Was like she knocks him down and he gets into his bloody Thanos copter and flies off. It's like, what the hell was this all about?
Product placement.
Thanos
copter, making so many toys.
I know I was into some. I remember reading those books. It was back in like probably the days when there were some interesting things that I was getting involved into, and it kind of did make me a bit trippy out on a few things. Like,
all right, 1 hour, 19 minutes. There were some interesting things I was getting into. Me out a little bit.
No, it was they were good times. I can't remember a lot of it anymore because I've done some damage, but I've done some. It's not the problem is I haven't got a lot of brain cells to really get out left, so I've kind of really messed myself over. Like, this is probably why I'm so unhinged when I start talking. I just start ranting on. It's like,
how do you not have a million subs already?
That's probably why. It's like, this guy's just downright.
This is the content that people love. This is it. This is the stuff.
Forget the Lego stuff. Just talk.
Just talk. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't dare, to be honest, because especially if I actually make a video on its own, it's like, my God. I've actually sat back before now whilst I sat down and edited one of my videos. I think it was my most recent ones. I think it was the 501st Battle Pack, which everyone was kind of like obviously like ranting and raving on. I was like, wow, it's the battle pack. It's 5-0 first, and I was like, well, hang on a second. Everyone's going nuts for like these are clone troopers that are celebrating. You're basically celebrating the mass murder of an entire religion. Something we should be celebrating? I don't know. I was kind of. I suddenly realised that when I published it, I was like, "Oh crap! I actually left that in. Whoops."
Oh my goodness!
But yeah, it's kind of true. Yeah, I mean, obviously, like in the Clone Wars, you watch the TV series. Obviously, they were really good, but then obviously, like the vast majority of people watch the films, and well, you just watch them just kind of shoot people in the back of the head, and like, right, okay. And then you get people like asking, well, when are we going to make the Jedi Temple and all that kind of stuff? Well, primarily because the Jedi Temple was mostly renowned for like children being cut in half by Anakin Skywalker. So I don't think Lego really want to get involved with that kind of stuff.
Master Skywalker, what should we do?
What should we do?
Don't worry, close your eyes, wait for the flash. It'll be over. That film just always kind of makes me. I know you're not supposed to giggle at it, but it's like 1 minute you're just kind of sitting there. He's like, this heroic person, going through, and next it's like child slaughtering maniac coming through. You just saved us from the separatists. Yeah, don't worry about it. Just die now. Just yeah. I get it's a film.
After.
Sorry.
Yeah, when they're on Mustafar, it's like, but he promised us we'd be looked after.
Yeah. I always love the ones where it's have you ever seen the robot chicken ones?
Most of them, yeah, but yeah, yep.
Oh god, it's just
just
so horrible because they didn't cut away from it either, and it's like, you promised me you're going to take me to a summer house. It's like, oh my god.
Oh man, I remember seeing it. It's been a long time since I've seen it.
Oh god,
robot chicken thing.
Oh god, I think I've probably watched those about 40 times now, and just like it still cracks me up, especially when it's like Matt was saying, where they're on Mustafar, and it's like, I've got the high ground now, and it's like, you underestimate my power. Don't do it. High ground. Honestly, I'm gonna go high ground. Oh god.
When the Emperor's there on Coruscant and he gets the first phone call that the Death Star's been blown up.
What do you mean? What's the aluminum Falcon?
I lost the Death Star to a bunch of teenagers.
Who's they?
Poor Panda Bear.
I remember watching that. Well, I think it came out roughly about the time when the transitions between fiber optic and dial-up was starting to die off. And I remember sitting there waiting for that video to load up. I was like, oh god, I remember those days, listening to those dial-up tones coming through, waiting for this to come up. And it was only lasted about 5 minutes, but you waited about more like 4.5 hours waiting for it to load.
I remember
it was like done in a.
I ever went to ever in my life was when my family, we got a Apple Macintosh computer. And I went on, I tried to open up cartoonnetwork.com, and the dial-up was so slow, and it just like my computer froze trying to load the page.
Yeah.
It's almost kind of like beggars belief that we're actually still sitting here talking to each other, because our dial-up was so terrible and it was so slow, and it's like, how the hell did it ever take off? But
yeah,
I suppose
here we are talking on the internet.
And here we are now talking, one from America, another one from the other side of England, and yeah, it's just incredible. It really is. Obviously, people were just for once in their life being bloody patient.
I remember
could you imagine if the internet like dial-up started now? You could just imagine Microsoft or whoever come up with, or AOL, I think it was, wasn't it? Come up with it. Yeah. They'd just be inundated with like letters, wouldn't they? Saying, it's too slow. Oh no, I'm going to sue you now.
It's too slow. I can't do it. It doesn't work.
End my life now. I'm done. Wait, can't I mean, I get annoyed when I can't download something in like 2 minutes or something like that. It's like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
When we moved out from Australia, like Australia's internet is like ridiculously slow. Like you try to download, it'd be like a video or movie, and it's literally go through and you queue it up before you go to bed so you can get it the next morning, sort of thing. And then when we came here, and it's like, what do you mean that just downloaded in 15 minutes? Like, what? It's just
You're getting ready to like walk down the street, go eat. Like, wait, it's done. It's not so.
It's done. What did this drop out and crash and it confused itself? No, it's just, and it's still pretty bad. Even when we went back there, what was it, beginning of last year? I think it was. Because we sort of complain here when we're getting speeds of 20, 30, 40 megabits or something. They're still stuck on like 5.
Oh, no, thank you.
Yeah.
What would you say now? I'm paying quite a decent amount of money for my fiber optic broadband, and it's apparently I'm getting 48 megas of download speed, and I use the BT kind of thing to test my speed, and it obviously always comes up perfect. But then I obviously, as you seen yourself, Matt, I've been on streams and it just randomly cut out. And
Connected, absolutely perfect. Disconnected.
Yeah,
disconnected. And that's what we keep on joking about. So just refer them back to the stream.
yeah. So look, I've got plenty of evidence. Mind you, it's working pretty well now, so I'm going to take that as a win at the moment.
Exhibit A.
Yeah. Elaine Park says, when I got my first computer, all the men at the work told me I never used to get 2 gigs of RAM. Yeah, God, bloody hell. It's kind of unbelievable. It's like how technology is kind of like shot past. Like, your iPhone's got more technology than the Saturn V rocket. It's just unbelievable.
Well, I mean, even that was back in the 90s. It's sort of like the processor chip in your microwave was more powerful than the space program, basically. Yeah. And that was.
It's incredible. It really is. I can't look at TVs as well because one of my friends, he's still got one of those old box TVs. I was like, what? Yeah, and I was like, why have you still got that?
I have one of those in my basement for playing Super Nintendo and Nintendo and.
Yeah, and that's the reason why he's kept it, because I've got a Nintendo GameCube, I've got this, I've got that. I was like, well, all right, fair enough. I was like, yeah, we used to watch them as well. I was looking at the picture quality. I was like, no, I'm gonna go back to my 4K TV now. I was like, this is hurting my eyes looking at it.
But playing the games on it just feels right.
It does. I totally agree with you. I've still got my old PlayStation 1 and 2, and obviously they got those what was it, the red, white, and was it blue, wasn't it, or black, or whatever? I can't remember what it was. The cables to go in the back of the TV, and obviously most TVs now don't even have that. I was like, what were those? Red, yellow, and white. That was it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're what were they?
They're like auxiliary cables.
Yeah, the auxiliary sound, something.
I remember trying to hook up my Super Nintendo to like my new TV, and I'm like, wait a minute, I can't do anything. There's nothing. There's no receptor for these 3 cords.
Yeah, I mean, I brought out my old PlayStation 2 game because I wanted to play my old PlayStation 2 console, and I had a SCART lead on the back of it. I was like, yeah, my TV must have this on the back of it. It looks at the back of it. Oh, bugger. That's that done. Right, okay.
So that is all taken care of.
Well, I'll put that back up in the loft, and that's that done. Because on the back of my TV, all I've got is USB and HDMI on the back of that one. I'm like, yeah.
Well, that was the weird thing with getting the NES Classic or whatever. You pick it up and you go to plug it in. It's like, wait a minute, it's got HDMI. I'm not used to NES having HDMI. Like, what?
Yeah. We got Funny Figs here. Ray is here.
Hey, Funny Figs. Great to have you along.
Damn time zones.
What's up, Ray?
Time zones are a mess. I'm going to go grab myself another drink. I'll be right back.
Oh, yeah.
A couple more squiggles and...
No, you take your time. Do whatever you wish.
Feel free to play a commercial for Raid Shadow Legends or something like that.
Raid Shadow Legends. Today's video is sponsored by Raid Shadow. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, there's like a couple ads. I'm pretty sure at least 1 or 2 of them are local to where I am because it's not like national chain things. But I feel like the ads on YouTube have been like relentless in the last couple of months. Like, it's got like an enormous amount of them. They're showing them to me over and over and over again. Every single one is like you get 2 ads no matter what.
Yeah.
It's just
Because
like,
they're obviously, they're really trying to get you to move on to their version of their streaming service or whatever. But I mean, it's the sort of thing I think conceptually for me as a platform, it's like if I just want to watch. For the most part, it's amateur content. Like some of it's extremely well done, but it's amateur content, and you're using it as a search. If I want to watch a TV show or something like that, then I'll go and put on one of the Disney Plus or Netflix or something like that.
It's also kind of weird because, I mean, maybe I wasn't remembering right, but I remember earlier in the year, a lot of the like bigger corporate channels, like, like the CNN YouTube channel or, like Disney, but like the actual like company channels, none of them had monetization because none of them would have ads. I don't remember ever seeing ads on big company channels. And I remember telling myself, oh yeah, that's nice because, I mean, they make their money elsewhere. So I shouldn't have to see an ad every time I want to watch a Stephen Colbert monologue because, CBS has got their own stuff going on. And definitely over the last couple of months, there is no such thing as an adless video now. It just doesn't.
Yeah,
why am I watching it?
I definitely find like the worst part about I ever find with those is like the sheer volume of ads that you got to watch through one bloody video as well. It's like you sit there and it's like you get the advert at the beginning of the film, and then like you kind of get halfway through it, and then there's another one, and then you get another quarter way through it, and there's another bloody one. It's like,
and it's probably you probably have the same experience as me, right? It's always two.
Yeah,
it's never one. Always two ads.
Yeah, I'm finding now it's like almost like 3 or 4. I don't know which one.
But I mean, I say like you get hit with 3 or 4 ads, but in those 3 or 4 times you get hit, it's 2 ads.
Yeah, definitely.
It's add 1 out of 1 and 2, or 1 out of 2 and 2 out of
2. 2 out of 2. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I was watching another YouTuber. I think it was like Sunny. He kind of does like funny Grand Theft Auto videos and all that kind of stuff. It's something else I just watch just on my downtime. And yeah, I was sitting there watching it, and I think I must have watched that Ruddy's Ray Shadow Legend advert probably about 3 times in one video. I was like, I don't care. Let's play Ray Shadow Legend. No, I don't want to play it.
I don't want the game.
No. And then the most annoying part is, and then at the end of it, this video was sponsored by Ray Shadow Legends. Please come along and play it. No, now you're saying it. Go away.
Oh my goodness. So I tried on that one. I was trying to go for like a Bruce Timm style Green Lantern.
Okay, yeah.
I don't think I pulled it off, but that's what I did.
That's good, man. That's good.
Because that's what I was referencing. At least I was referencing a Bruce.
Are you copying? Are you getting some inspiration off a computer, or is this just in your mind that you're coming up?
I was using my phone.
Oh, right. So you got Space Odyssey, the Terminator next.
Terminator, yeah.
So you got the T2, T6, T25, T3. I don't know. I don't really know the Terminator.
All the T's.
All the T's. Should we just go? Or you can go for the ridiculous one that just came up recently, where obviously, to be honest, I can't even remember. I've really fallen out of love with Terminator now.
Yeah, I didn't even see the last one. It's just like, this is too, yeah.
Oh God, it's just like end it at Terminator. Yeah, I kind of.
Yeah, there was another one, wasn't there?
There's about bloody 45 of them now, and I was like, give up with it. It's the franchise is dead. Funny thing that says, has anyone done Tron yet? No. So put your name in. I'll put your name in for Tron. I'll put you in there.
And a shout out to Marley Min in Australia. Great to have you joining us. I know it must be silly o'clock there. So
yeah, I mean, there's 5 o'clock in there or something like that.
Yeah, that sounds generally about 9 hours in front of UK. So no, 6:30 now. So probably when you put the comment in there, it was
all right.
Give or take daylight saving. I don't know. It's October gets really weird because UK goes sort of like back and then Australia goes forward, so it moves from like a 9-hour difference to 11-hour difference, and then the Americans do something at a different time as well.
If anyone else has got any ideas for what to draw a sci-fi inspired stream today, so anyone that's got any ideas for sci-fi, bring it on. 2 for the price of 1 as well, so you're getting 2 pictures, 2 very different kind of things. It's beautiful.
You're too
Daft Punk's not sci-fi though. It's like they got sci-fi music. Would you call it? No.
They have definitely some sci-fi music videos.
They've definitely got that. Yeah. A couple of French dudes with some interesting helmets that somehow made it into Star Wars films. Yeah, it's definitely.
Just those little quick jabs in there.
It's quite impressive, actually. I think there's 2 or 3 jabs in there in one sentence.
That's how good it was. I only caught one. So,
so that's
honestly.
So the other thing I wanted to ask, Kevin, how do you come up with some of your topics for your streams?
I literally think about it during the weekend when I set up the placeholder on YouTube. I'm like, what should I do this week? And I go, I'll do this.
I'll do this.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. I spend 5 minutes and I just think about something that I haven't done already. And when I put that placeholder up, that is when the topic has been sealed. And the only time I don't do that is when I have someone else on, as you know, and I go, you pick it. And I let them pick their theme. Okay. There's like no other secret methodology to it.
Okay. I was thinking here, much like everything else, it's like, oh no, it'd be well planned and crafted, and he's got a rhythm and something. It's like, no.
I mean, the only even slight bit of planning, I guess, is when I was like, oh, back to school's happening because my kid is going back to school this week. So how about back to school? Like, I guess that was planned. But other than that, it's usually just kind of whatever I think about when I set up the placeholder.
Yeah. No, I think the first 1 or 2 is like, what do I feel like doing? Which I think was largely off the back of once I'd done yours. It's like, okay, I just did a whole thing on people and stuff like that. So don't want to do people. And then after that, it became a little bit more of crowd surfing or crowdsourcing the idea. I think Solo came up with a great number of ones. It's like, yep, noted. Okay, there's the next 5 or 6 ready to go.
Yeah, I would think I'd like to test out a couple like freestyle ones. I think maybe you did one of those, maybe. Or maybe I'm making that up. But like just hey, today's freestyle, whatever you want. I have come to appreciate having a theme. I do like that.
Yeah.
Like every now and then, letting people go wild.
Yes, I think one of the first ones, it was very much, as what you're saying, sort of a freestyle sort of one. And then one where, because the streams, they started and they have remained really long. So I think one of them was sort of like, right, I'm going to do these in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Attempt to. So
they have indeed been long. I really am. I'm truly impressed. I know exactly what goes into this. And so, I catch them on the trail end or whatever, and then maybe I fold laundry, I go grocery shopping, I'm putting stuff up, and I'm like collapsing into my chair in the living room. I'm like, Matt's still alive? I'm like,
and half the time they also end, apart from the kid factor, it's sort of like, okay, it's 1:30 in the morning and I'm struggling to actually stay awake.
It's like, going until the wheels fall off.
Yeah.
Incredible.
That could get awkward one day. You just sort of pass out in front of it. You'll be like,
yeah, you'd be pulling a Reed. Reed has done that. Hope Castle's done that on his channel.
Oh, really?
Oh, he's not alone. So people are like, hey, look, Reed's asleep.
It becomes a sort of thing then. Just as long as Doc's not around. We can...
to clip it.
Oh yeah, he would actually have a whole virtual news probably just dedicated probably by about 2 hours just for that. I'm just bracing myself to see that one day. Just like open up the thing. It's like, my God, he's asleep. My God, he's been going for how many? 19 hours? Jesus, man.
19 hours. Oh man.
God. Yeah, I mean, I've come on before now. It's like you got 1 o'clock. You're saying 1 o'clock at night. I was like, Man, I'm after emphasis just to put in the chat. Go to bed. Jesus, man. You must be worn out. No lie, your wrist must be absolutely creaking like mad. Oh, God.
I think somebody, because most of those ones, it's not so much I don't forget or whatever, I just don't feel the inkling to. So if it goes for 5.5 hours, there's a good chance I actually haven't stood up for 5.5 hours.
Yeah, see, I was just about to say, I don't think it's the hand. It's like the neck and back. That is where it starts to kick in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lucky that hasn't happened so far, touch wood. But
so my longest one of these to date was the last virtual brick world. I did 6 hours. And that was a paid thing, right? People paid money to show up and watch me do it. And so I was very cognizant of that. I wanted to be very respectful of that. And so I was basically just really on the entire 6 hours. So I never left. I actually never went to the bathroom somehow. I don't know how I did that. I went like the second we were done, I went.
Yeah.
I sat there and I walked people through how do I draw Lego minifigures? What's my process? How do I approach light and shadow? How do I shade? How do I get the form? How do I do perspective? And then I took requests and I did it solid for 8 hours. And as soon as it was done and I went, as I went to the bathroom, I felt like lightheaded and dizzy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, whoa, I am like, and I actually was done. I was done for the whole rest of the day and actually the next day. I was like, nope, I'm totally vegging. I can't do anything.
Can't do anything. No, you're just completely. Yeah, no, I know that. Particularly that lightheaded feeling. You're just like, oh wow, this isn't going to be good tomorrow.
Yeah, like you're so zoned into it, and you're trying to provide a good experience or good engagement or whatever you're trying to provide, and then you're kind of done, and so you're like blinked back into like normal consciousness. And yeah, it was like a weird lightheadedness, and I'm just like, whoa, I'm like, I don't feel good. Like I need to go lay down and just like relax and not do anything and not talk.
Yeah, it's that talking thing. That's what I really notice when you don't have a co-host, because then you're trying to juggle between the stream, what you're doing, keeping track of the requests and things like that.
Yeah.
And that's why the co-host, it just makes it so much easier because at least
difference.
I bet you're not saying that about today. I bet you're worried about everything I'm going to say. He's like, oh my God, he's going to insult
me. No, not in the slightest. It's like,
how far is he going to go with this conversation that he's coming up with? Better get my finger on the mute button just in case.
No, not in the slightest. It's quite a relief for that. But then I just find I know, because I do go the other way, saying to someone, "Hey, do you want to co-host for 5.5 hours?" It's like,
yeah,
we might be friends, but no.
Actually, they would be like, "I want to remain friends." So no.
Well, I think even when, and I hope you don't mind me saying this, when I asked both of you, like if you could, Solo to help out and then for Kevin to do it, the first question, is it going to go for 5.5 hours?
That was top of mind. What do you have in mind for duration?
Yeah. No. Unless you want to. No, but it will be a very concise. When it hits 3 hours, it's going to be done.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I got no response back for that one.
I mean, hey, if it works for you, all the power to you if it works for you. It's just a lot. Like for me, that 3 hours is perfect. It's not too much. It's not, I feel like it's a decent amount of content, decent amount of time and engagement, and it's not overwhelming. So I've come to really like that. That's like a perfect time for me.
Oh yeah.
Although I sometimes get the other end of it, and particularly you get to about 3 hours, and I don't know, maybe because it's just the style of it or whatever, and particularly when you don't have somebody hosting with you, it's sort of like, okay, if I'm going to have a page of this done, would I be happy with these 2 drawings? It's like,
yeah,
better do some more.
Yeah, I hear you. I've had a couple of streams where the canvas wasn't as filled as I personally would have liked it to be, like, man, I only did like 8 drawings. I kind of do like 25 usually, but all right. But like, because I feel like that little, like you have your like recap photo, and I've got like the collage that I do, which never shows all of them. It's just kind of like, here's the ones that I think are the best. But there have been some where like literally everything you see in that is the only drawings I have. Here's the collage. It's actually only all of them.
But you can get away with it then, because then if you only have it in the square box, people go, oh yeah, there must have been lots of other ones.
You must have done so many. Exactly.
It just never went back to check it. So, but that was interesting when, because I went back and watched some of your earlier ones or bits and pieces of them, and you could tell, like, just as an artist sort of thing, you can tell how you sort of refined it a lot more, because those first ones, it was just drawings everywhere. It's like,
brutal. Yeah, I mean, it was really, in a lot of ways, my first, like, everything, really. Because, January 2019, I had never live streamed myself ever in my life. And so I started the backlog building, the Lego building one, and the doodle stream. I started both of them at the same time that month. And I was like, all right, I'm going to start these. I'm going to learn how to do this. I don't know what I'm doing. And I was definitely nervous. I mean, it's not like I don't have experience public speaking. I've got a lot of that. But I was like, man, I'm nervous. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to mess something up. I'm going to be like a noob with 2 zeros. It was all over the place. And I also had never used a tablet. Never used a tablet before.
Yeah, that blew my mind when I heard you say that on the thing. It's like, I've never used a tablet. It's like, Shay, what?
Yeah. No, I mean, I had it. I have the one that I use now. I've been like, was gifted it, and it's been like sitting in a box. And I still only really use it when I do the stream.
Yeah. Because when you first said that, it's like, how could you, like, because I think I texted you at some stage, it's like years ago when I got the computer, and one of the first things I got was one of the very original Wacom tablets, and it was sort of like, I think it may have been 3 inches by 2 inches. That's how big the thing was. Yeah. And it was expensive as, but no, it was a fantastic purchase, and never looked back from it. And
it's interesting because when I was in art school, I remember like a lot of stuff changed. Maybe this is how it is for everybody. A lot of stuff changed like right after I graduated. Like I graduated, and I remember they went in, and we had like a one of those lab, like a lab class where you've got the all the equipment you need to make whatever you're going to make. And it had like the old school Disney animation tables where it's got like the circular light box underneath it.
The actual animation thing that rotates, And
that was our main like lab for everything we did. And there was like 2 computers in the back that you could, like, if you needed to scan stuff, and that was it. Literally the next year I graduated, and they replaced all of those with the Wacom Cintiqs, all of them in the whole like school. And so I was like, oh, what is? I remember going back, and I'm like, what is this?
What is this
device? And they're like, oh, you can draw directly on the computer screen now. I'm like, what? But so I didn't have any personal experience using like tablets or anything. And then some of my friends later on after school, they got themselves tablets, and I was all jealous. I'm like, wow, you guys are living in the future.
The future stuff.
But I just never. I didn't have like a need, I was like, well, all right, I guess that's the way things are going, and that's cool, but I don't personally have a need for it.
Yeah. Because certainly, when I got mine, that was, I think it had to even be specially ordered from the States. Like, I don't even know why I bought it. I may have just read in a design magazine that people had just started buying these things, and they're fantastic because you didn't have internet or anything. And, this is Australia, so it's like there's nothing really there at that stage. And it's not like, now there wasn't even tutorials on how to use the things and stuff. It's just you plug it in, you start playing. Admittedly, at that time, I think Photoshop was at like version.
CS.
No.
CS.
No, CS wouldn't be for another. What's that at that stage? That probably would have been 15 years later.
Yeah, gotcha.
Like I think in version 3 of Photoshop, they just introduced, was it layers, and you could have, I think, like a maximum of 20.
I love it. Did you guys see this new feature? We can have layers.
Yeah, it's literally. And then I think the great thing with, was it version 4, you could have undo, but you could only have one.
That is amazing. That's
and
good.
then it was version 5, you could have like 100 or as many as you had computing power to process, which basically meant 3. So,
Yeah, I just find it amazing. I know how to turn a laptop on.
Power button.
Yeah, I'm too scared to let my phone drop down below a certain percentage just in case I can't work out how to turn that back on.
That's awesome. I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick, actually, since I got this.
Yeah, cool.
I just did that face. I just wanted to do I wanted to do that robotic face. That's what I wanted.
That's awesome.
Terminate.
All right, I'll be right back.
Cool. I'll catch up.
Where you're going all that, you got the full Arnie experience.
Yeah, just trying to. I was almost wondering about that. It's like, is this going to be seen as a cop out to go for Arnie? But it's like, oh, trying to get the likeness is going to be difficult. So,
wow, it's not a cop out. He is the Terminator, isn't he? He's literally the Terminator.
Within it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my God, man, he's like, how old is he? My God, he must be in his 60s, and he's still trying to make Terminator.
Yeah. No. I had in my head that late 60s. It'd be interesting.
Yeah, he's got to be. I mean, don't get me wrong, he looks good for his age. You know, he's pumped up, he's jacked up, and all that still. But it's like, mate, give up the acting skills. Come on, it's like you got one acting skill, and it's literally, I punch you in the face. Done. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, and the trouble is that I don't think he really, for me personally, I don't think he works as a Terminator anymore because he does, a Terminator, he looks a bit old now to be a Terminator now because they got to keep coming up with all these excuses now. He's been loitering around for God knows how many years. It's like, shut up. He's a Terminator. He's not supposed to age.
Age with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought when they did the Genesis film, how they had him as, going the long way around in time. That was kind of interesting. But yeah, the rest of the film, you're just like, can I erase that from my memory somehow?
Yeah. I mean, I remember when I sat back and I heard that they were making Terminator Genesis and it was going to be, it's going to be along the same kind of stance. And I remember sitting there watching the trailer. I was like, you've just given away your biggest plot point, your biggest plot twist, and you've put it in the ruddy trailer. It's like, who come up with a marketing scheme for that one? And then they've done it again for the recent one that just came out. And it's like, oh yeah, James Cameron's attached to this one. It's going to be amazing. It's like, and apparently it's the worst one they've ever made. It's like, oh God.
No, that was Salvation, where they really gave away the fact that the guy was a Skynet robot sort of thing.
Yeah. They seem to be good at giving away the bloody main plot twist for Terminators. It's just stupid.
What were you not thinking?
Yeah, I just God. I mean, I like Terminator as much as the next guy, but it's like as soon as you get past, me personally, I quite enjoy Terminator 3. Like, come at me, anyone in the chat. I quite enjoyed it. I could take enjoyment out of it. Like, going into Terminator Salvation, I didn't mind it. I think the premise there was good. I think they had some interesting things going on in there. You're actually seeing the Skynet wars. We're in the actual heart of the fight and all that kind of stuff. I think that was really good. But like you said, they gave away the biggest plot twist in the sodden trailer, and also it's just like the execution of it as well was a bit choppy. So you're like, this was not as good as it thought it was.
Yeah. I didn't mind it. Like, obviously you had the plot point giveaway and things like that, but I think they had some interesting ideas.
Yeah.
I think I liked the way that they did Christian Bale did his take on John Connor and all that sort of thing. I think at that time, because he had run-ins with
Oh yeah,
the actor or whatever. I think that really overshadowed a lot of the marketing. It was more that aspect of it. It's like, okay, then he's just intense. He wanted to make a good film out of it. But yeah,
Who's intense?
Sci-fi. The theme is today. Sci-fi.
We're just talking about some of the Terminator films and like Salvation, where you had Christian Bale.
Was that the last one?
No. It was 2 films back. So
really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
You had Salvation, then you had Genesis, and then you had whatever the last one was called.
The forgettable one. Well, they're all forgettable. They're just all bloody terrible.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing the trailer for the whatever was the most recent. I'm like, I have zero interest in seeing this.
Yeah, I mean, I just love that they've done the trailer as like James Cameron presents. It's like, no, no, shut up. Unless it actually comes out directed, then you probably might have a bit more interest with a few people. But it's like, yeah, he's only attached to it just by name, not by actual like.
Yeah, but I think that was just a backdoor way of saying, James Cameron, ignore the other ones. We have version, this is picking up from Terminator 2.
Yeah.
Ones.
I mean, never mind, it's still going to be rubbish, but it's still going to be, come watch it, please. We beg you. Honestly, James Cameron is here. He's made really good films. He's made Avatar about blue monkeys, so this is obviously going to be good.
Okay. All right.
What was the timestamp on that one?
Solo, you're going to start a new series, Solo, called Hot Takes with Solo. Just highlights from all your other content, but it's the best one-liners.
The best one-liners, yeah.
Hot Takes with Solo.
Because when we did that...
Solo takes.
Solo takes it away. Because when we did that interview with you, Kevin, which went for a ridiculous amount of time, the best thing which I liked in doing that was the 1-minute promo videos. Some of your one-liners are awesome. Particularly going back now and looking at the Mario stuff, and it's sort of like, because obviously you wanted the Zelda stuff, and it's like, I don't really like it. I'm going to buy it all, but I don't like it.
All, but, I still feel exactly the same. I'm like, I'll buy it, but whatever.
Whatever, yeah.
Yeah, I think I definitely stirred a few things up when I think it was when Brick and It was on Greg's stream, and obviously we're talking about the Mario stuff and like saying who's going to buy it. I was like, I have zero interest in that. I have no interest whatsoever. My penny's not even going to be spent on that. It's just. And then when I said, it's just a load of waffle, a marketing scheme and all that kind of stuff. I was like, no, it's awesome and all that kind of stuff. I was like, no, it's overpriced. All right, get out of it, go away. I'm not interested in it. It's like there's better things when you spend Lego on. My money on Lego. I think I might have touched a few nerves when I was coming up with that kind of stuff. I was like, it wasn't my thing. Yeah, I was like, you take your you take the starter set. It's like what, £50 or $60, whatever it is. I was like, I could take that and actually buy a physical decent idea set or something like that. I could take that and I can actually have a nice big model in front of me instead of this little controlled rubbish Mario thing that goes, hey, look, hey, I'm Mario.
It's me, Mario. Yeah, I mean, for about £60 anyhow, you could get a NES Classic with all the games.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, my God, that's a decent PlayStation 4 game. It's like, get out of here. God.
Get out of here. The NES set's pretty cool though.
Yeah, no, that is really good. I do really like that. If I had the money to lying around, I would definitely have that. But
it's really interesting. I still don't know how I personally feel about it. But it was interesting to see the mechanic of using the crank to have motion in the TV. The only reason I don't know how I feel about it is because that has been a very prominent AFL technique for years in the community. I've seen people do that with Sonic the Hedgehog. I've seen that with Pac-Man. I've seen it with Mario. And so it's a little weird being like, oh, that's a thing that fans have done that you kind of slightly stole, but I guess not steal because it's your thing. But all right.
That's why.
We all maintain, because I think the first time I've seen it before, but obviously Matt, you've got one similar to that, haven't they? With crank kind of system. It's like,
Crank thing.
should we go to Lego and say, "Oi, you little buggers, you stole that from my idea," you know? So,
Yeah, it's like, I mean, it's cool. There's a reason why people do it.
Yep.
And I think it's cool in that setting too. And I think they executed it well. That's why I just don't know how I feel about it. I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this, but all right.
Yeah, I mean, that's why with that set, I mean, because it is very, very similar to the Ideas one, which I did, part of it is like, yeah, because obviously people are always raving about the crank thing and everything like that. And it's like, well, as I solve that as an engineering problem, so to me, that's not really interesting. I mean, it's nice to see it, but then, yeah, it's the other side too. It's like, I spent all this time to do this Lego Ideas thing, and it's kind of there now. And then the mosaics come out, which then killed the rest of the idea. I was like,
yeah. You blatantly know that someone at Lego's kind of scrolling through the Lego Ideas thing. It's like, well, yep, we could do that. Yep. Well, we're not going to give them any credit for it, but we're going to nick that anyway, and we're going to make that into a product, and we're going to say we invented it. Like,
there's a little bit of that for real.
Oh yeah. I've been told some of the sneaky little things that goes on backstage. And like, right. Yeah, it's a bit naughty, but you know, what can you do?
So we're in the last hour.
The last hour, yeah, it's already come up. So
2/3 of the stream has concluded.
So you got a nice bit. You got teas for Alien. We got a lovely waving hand going on the screen again. Look at that. Ooh, very bendy. You got Space Odyssey with E.T. Funny Figs with Tron, or you got Marley Min with Princess Leia. Skin like porcelain, hair like French continental breakfast.
I do want to do the. I think we'll just make sure that there. I think we'll do. Because Space Odyssey, we did Terminator, so I think we'll do Tron and then probably Princess Leia. And I think after that, we might have time for one more. So if somebody else throws something else in there that we haven't sort of seen, that's cool. I'm loving the ones that you've done there, Kevin. It's sort of like, oh no, I've unleashed the monster now.
Like, don't worry, I won't be doing this.
No, it's. I openly say, you know, a lot of the stuff I do is just frogging it off your stuff, and it's almost like when after I did the intro, it's sort of like, did you feel a sense of deja vu with some of that?
Yeah, I did. It's funny because you're definitely not alone. There is quite a few other Lego streams that I've listened to, and they make a point in the beginning to tell people to cool it off, and I'm like, interesting. It's like nice to see that's taken off a little bit.
Well, I think because there's been a couple other streams and things like that, and some people, you know, that's their thing on the stream. They really get into stuff and really back and forth and being quite aggressive and all the rest of it and winding each other up. And it's like, yeah, for these sorts of ones, I don't want to be doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't for me. I just don't want to be a part of it. I just don't want to be a part of it. I don't want to control what people can or cannot do, or their opinions, or what they want to say. And I fully support them expressing themselves however they wish, whenever they wish, wherever they wish. But when something is mine and my name's attached to it, I'm kind of, I'm okay.
Yeah. So,
I want to do like the poster. Oh,
yeah, it's almost like I want to sort of do the light sign.
You have either the person riding on the motorcycle or the poster. That's what you do.
Well, because you know it's every generation and things like that. So Tron for me is the original film with the original Sid Mead light cycle design. Like I get that they've updated it and things like that, but I still.
Well, unfortunately, another one of my. Sadly, I had never seen either Tron movie, so whoopsies.
Well, it's funny because the first one tanked at the box office. It was one of those things which became a cultural sort of hit, a cult sort of following.
Yeah.
So for them to even make the sequel was kind of interesting.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that. It's interesting.
Yeah,
I quite enjoyed the sequels of Tron. There's elements I did like about it. especially the updated special effects on it. Like that definitely got me all pumped up. So those nice shiny new light bikes that they had on there. It's like, that look good.
I mean, if you're got a good story and you know what you're doing, and it's not. Sorry, my dogs are going off again. Of course, I think I forgot to close the door when I came back downstairs. Like you can make some stuff look pretty nice. You know what I'm saying? Like with the effects today. Like beautiful films that just really immerse you in what you're watching.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, especially with the modern day Tron. I mean, it had some very nice de-aging effects and some very good special effects in regards to everything else, but the story was terrible.
Yeah, that's the thing. I was gonna say, like, it just kind of is so disappointing when everything is kind of on point, and then you got like a bad story or something.
Yeah. That's just like sounds like the Disney Star Wars universe. Then you got very
nice. Solo hot take.
Yeah, no, it's to say that I'm disappointed with the sequels is a bit of an understatement. Didn't mind what was Rogue One? Solo I could kind of take or leave, but yeah, anyhow.
I think Solo Star Wars story. Don't get me wrong, it was good, but you could blatantly see that there was a lot of political agendas behind there. It's like, oh yeah, equal rights. I mean, droid rights. He was like, yeah, you're really kind of ham-fisting that in there quite nicely. There, it's like it's a bit on the nose. Rogue One I quite enjoy because that was, it's a straightforward story. It's like, well, I don't know how the hell they managed to make a film out of like a 2-line sentence on the opening scroll of the New Hope. Like, well done. All right.
Well done.
Hey, they can make an action figure for the ice cream machine guy in Cloud City.
Yeah.
About one line. I'm gonna go. I'll be right back.
That's like what is it? The Batwing, the 89 Batwing that's coming out. It's like, the 3 minifigures. You've got Joker, yep, get it. Batman, yep, get it. The boombox guy. It's like, what?
Oh, boombox man, yeah.
Yeah, it's like
he's an iconic character.
It's like Bob the Goon or something. Like, oh, what? Boombox guy? What?
I could even get with even if they put the Penguin in there. It's like surely he must be a bit more, relevant to the story than Boombox Man. I was like, what
well, he was in the sequel film.
I know he was in the sequel. I know he was in that, but it's like,
okay, sorry, I didn't pick up your sarcasm.
Yeah,
Boombox Man.
I just, out of all the iconic characters you could have came up with out of those films, it's like, let's go with Boombox Man. No, not just forget about the Penguin. We'll leave him out of it. It was like, no, Boombox Man.
I mean, even the guy that was doing in the bell tower at the end, who's like, oh, maybe it wasn't in the bell tower, but he does the whole, flipping and jumping around and everything like that, and he gets within 1 foot of Batman, and Batman just punches him in the head and he falls over. Like, even somebody like that is kind of a bit more memorable. Like,
I mean, I remember being on someone else's stream back in the day when I used to jump on other people's streams, and I held my own streams in my bedroom. And
good times.
Oh yeah, good times. Very, very hot because my God, that room got really hot, especially when I had the light beaming down on me. It's like Jesus. And I had a guy on there. I think we're coming off the back of Batman versus Superman. Obviously, he was going, "Oh, Batman shouldn't kill." I was like, "Well, clearly you haven't seen the old Batman from the 60s, because I mean, my God, he literally just burnt someone alive with his car." So yeah, to say that Batman shouldn't kill,
he did do that, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he even had a gun for the first X number of issues, like from the 39. But...
Oh, for the very first Batman, mate, he was almost classed as a serial killer. I was like, Jesus, man, this guy takes no prisoners. It's like.
Well, what's interesting? I've been going through this book, one of the DK books. That's the complete visual history of Batman, and something I was a little disappointed in, but it is what it is. I thought it was going to be like everything Batman, like the films, the cartoons, like comics, like all of it, and it really is only the comics. That's all it is.
All right.
But it is a in-depth, like here is everything from every era Here's all the major changes. And so I've been reading it because I bought it. So I'm like, all right, we're going to read it anyway. And it has been very interesting to see all the ways the character Batman has changed. All the supporting cast has changed. The characters have gone out. And, like, it's been really, really fascinating to go through.
There's a podcast which has come out now by a guy called Rob Liefeld, who was one of the founding fathers of Image and, was massive and things like that. And he's looking at it, how things have evolved and changed over time and things like that. And it's a brilliant podcast. So I really love it. I know a lot of people, Rob Liefeld's a bit Marmite. Some people love him, some people hate him. But it's fascinating because we have such fixed notions on what a character is and things like that. It's like, yeah, you realize that's only that character in the last 20 years. Like, it's not what he's always been.
Just trying to sort this out 1 moment. Please stand by. Come on.
Yeah, it's just been really interesting, and just stuff that I never really thought about, like how many times Alfred's name has changed, and Alfred was like this overweight guy that came in, and then like they decided to make him thin. It's like he'd probably be thin, and all the various people, like how Bruce Wayne had an uncle that tried to take over at one point, and at one point he had a love interest that was Alfred's daughter. I'm like, what is all of this?
Batman had a very interesting history. Very interesting history. I think probably the best one I ever find. I was reading up like Superman, like how he's changed over the years, and like he's basically a character that's just basically designed to solve every problem, no matter what. I mean, I think what was one of them I was reading up. It was like, I think there was a planet that was going to crash into the Earth or something like that.
Yeah.
And like, oh no, Superman can push a planet. Can he?
Know this?
All right, okay, that's a thing. Yeah, and then obviously they come up with a movie, and then wait, hang on a second, he can turn back time now. It's like, can he? All right, you're just making stuff up now as you're going along. It's like, how are you kidding?
I think that for some things the writers write themselves into a corner. It's like, how can we get out of this? And it's like, we'll just invent this new power. Oh, okay.
Just bring Batman in. I'll tell you what, Batman's got something in his utility belt. Oh, look, he's got a stopwatch that can stop time, so you can go result that. Or he's got.
Oh man, can I get that?
Yeah, I desperately need that. Jesus. Yeah. Oh God.
That's funny. Even when they sort of really made the excuse me, the utility belt and even the Batmobile, because the Batmobile was like, it's always been there, but it wasn't until I think it was the 50s where it actually became more of this effectively mobile crime lab that could go anywhere. Before that was more like, okay, this is how he gets from A to B sort of thing. So even just like little subtle things like that, which then completely changes like how they can do story dynamics and things.
Yeah, they've got a lot of that stuff in the book, which was just fascinating. Like how I guess one of his first secret entrances for like the Batmobile was like a barn. Like a barn next to the Wayne Mansion. I'm like, what? What is this? Who is this guy?
Quote me if I'm wrong, but was it one of the films, one of the like really terrible ones that they done? Did he go down to the secret layer, and it's like underneath the secret layer, it's like it came up with intruder alert, and it unveiled everything that was in front of him. It's like, surely if it's intruder alert, surely you just want to blow up the secret base instead of like, here's the Batmobile, here's the Batcave, here's everything. Go nuts, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, that was.
I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, no, it was the third one with Jim Carrey, because that's when Jim Carrey got into it. So it was like Batman Forever. Yeah. No. Now that you mention it, so like, because I'm thinking originally, that's the 60 ones, and then you're going, no, intruder alert, no, wait a minute, that's a Jim Carrey one that they did in like 95.
What the bleeding heck is this? It's like, that is the worst like anti-intruder system I've ever seen in my life. Yes, intruder, like, take all the diamonds, here's everything. I want to do the bolts. It's like, what the hell?
The greatest detective in the world with the world's worst security system.
Yeah. I think whoever was writing the script at that time must have been high as a kite, because it's like, there's no way that a sane person could have come up with a script that mental. I was like, how the hell did even Jim Carrey's character not realize that Bruce Wayne was Batman? And he's like working for him not even 2 scenes ago. It's like, Jesus.
Yeah, but it was
was the era of the Batman credit card, or no?
Oh
no, that was the 2 years later. It was the George Clooney film. So it's Joel Schumacher. Yeah. But that's the thing too, where people don't appreciate that story was written by McDonald's basically, because they had the second one which came out was Batman Returns and Michelle Pfeiffer and the Penguin and everything like that, and it went really dark. And McDonald's didn't get the heads up on it, so they're doing Happy Meals of course, of Batman and things like that. And then the film came out, and they're like, "We're promoting what?" Like, so when they did the next one, it's like, okay, right. They basically got Joel Schumacher and said, right, we need you to make this a bit more happy and a bit more like the 60s sort of camp. So that's when the Batmobile started getting neon lights and all that sort of stuff.
God, they were terrible. I mean, it had to be terrible for even the director to turn around and say, "We're so sorry." Mate, you've wasted 2.5 hours of my life, mate. I want that back. No apology's going to take that away, mate. It's like, God.
Have you cranked through another one? I've just looked up. It's like, oh, okay then.
Oh, God, it's just awful. Really was. It's just, And it's unbelievable that actually killed the Batman franchise. It really. It's how many years later was it until
7?
7 years. It's like just.
And it was funny at the time because even when they were talking about Batman Begins, like because the previous version had done so badly, like nobody had any sort of hopes for it. Everybody was really psyched and pumped that. Superman Returns was coming, and that was going to restart the interest in Superman, and then it's sort of like it ended up flipping it. It's like, oh, actually no, that Superman Returns one was quite bad. Oh, the Batman one, actually that was a good one in the end.
Yeah,
the Heath Ledger though, the Dark Knight, that is in my top 5 films of all time.
Yeah.
Oh, it was great on that. The only part that always kind of gets me is like you've built him up to be this world's greatest detective and all this kind of stuff, but obviously when the Joker's kind of going that, knowing that this is a guy that's messing with your head all the way, and this is a man not to trust, and you go to the exact coordinates where he told you, like when he's like blowing up the buildings, he's got one woman in the other one, he's got Two-Face in the other one. I was like, surely you're going to like cross paths instead. It's like, well, he told me she was in that one, surely I should go to the opposite one, if you see what I mean, if I'm making any sense whatsoever.
Yeah. It should have been.
It's like you've basically trusting a man that's just literally just blowing up a hospital, probably a couple of scenes back, which was a beautiful scene, and going around murdering everyone that comes in front of him. He's like, yeah, I'm going to take this man on his trust. Obviously, these people are going to be exactly where he was told. Like, come on. You're supposed to be Batman. You're supposed to know these things. Like, Jesus, mate.
You're like scolding Batman.
Don't get me wrong. I love the Dark Knight. I absolutely love it. But it's just like that. I was like, after hearing all the criticisms that like people are coming up about the Ben Affleck ones, it's like there have been some stupid moments as well in other films. It's like even when it even killed Two-Face in the films anyway. So it's like, I don't kill people, and then you just push him off the side. It's like, well, you just killed him
on purpose.
Yeah, you've just killed him. Where it was even the first one, where obviously he's fighting Liam Neeson in the train. It's like, I can't kill you, but I don't have to save you. Yeah, but you've killed him. You've left him there to die. You could have quite saved him, but you've killed him.
I think I don't know if they explained it well enough, but he is. Liam Neeson in those films, he is Ra's al Ghul, right?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Like I was still like kind of like, wait, were you or were you not?
Yeah.
Like misdirection but I feel like I never got like a satisfactory answer for myself on if he was or not.
Yeah, it wasn't explained very well, but yeah, he was supposed to be Ra's al Ghul, and this is like, I remember maybe sitting there in the cinema. I was like, well, hang on a second, is he now? But then, but I think he was supposed to be like the kind of like the driving force for all 3 films, which he sort of was. But obviously, with Heath Ledger dying and all that kind of stuff, I think he had to change his plans quite quickly.
Yeah.
kind of evidence of that
You
in
know,
the.
I really like. I actually enjoyed all three of those films quite a bit, actually. But for me, like I said, that second one is like. I'm not even talking about like. I'm talking about films in general. It's like one of my top 5, and after going from that to the third one, I was just like, this is the grand finale.
Yeah.
It's like I didn't dislike it. I enjoyed it, but I was like, doesn't feel like a grand like send off.
I mean, what get me is like I think probably the biggest like part that I just could not make any sense is he's literally explaining that his nuclear warhead has got a 5-mile radius or 20-mile radius of it, and you're telling me that you've managed to swim faster than the speed of light to get away from that explosion. I mean, he must have really caned it from that, because he ended up in France a couple of scenes later on drinking a cup of coffee with Catwoman. I was like, what? No, I was like, just explain, because he had an ejector seat. No.
Well, maybe he ejected the plane and then it sort of flew on for another 5 miles.
He still had to swim like Zeus himself. Oh, not Zeus. No, swim.
He would have called the Bat Boat. That would have come along and picked him up.
Either Batman or Batboat or even Aquaman. Come on, bring Aquaman. That I could believe. Yeah, it's like
get a little Jason Momoa action in there.
Yeah. I watch that film with my missus. Like every time I talk over that film, my missus like, shh, quiet. Jason Momoa's on the screen.
You've been put in your place.
I can tell what you're concentrating on, love. So as soon as like, I don't know, one of the girls like Catwoman came on the screen, was like, she starts talking. Oh, I can see what you're looking at. It's like, no, darling, you're the love of my life. I swear to God. Oh, God, man.
Yeah, funny the double standards like that.
Oh, yeah, mate, there's big double standards. Yeah, God.
And shout out to Just Build It. Great to have you along. And Mr. Booberry, great to have you in as well. I don't think we've seen you before. So,
it's Mr. Blueberry.
It's that one. Oh, Mr. Boo. Oh, unless it's Blue, he's playing with his name a bit.
Yeah, he's playing around with it.
It's for Halloween cereal time. Right? Blueberry cereal?
Blueberry. I don't know Blueberry.
It must be an American thing. Sorry, Kevin. We're just...
I just did like the movie poster. Except I only did the one character. There's both characters on the poster.
We'll let you off that one.
That's cool though. So no, I love it.
When I Google searched, it was like everything was either the poster or the bike. That was everything. Yeah. All right.
That's what you said at the beginning. You're going to be doing one or the other.
It's going to be the poster or it's going to be the bike.
So it's fantastic to see your traditional sketches. They're brilliant.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it. I do know how to pick up a pencil.
Funny fix. What's he said back here? Comic characters aren't people. They always will be written inconsistently, but I think the values Batman should espouse, including not killing, because it's a positive way to view law enforcement, especially in the animated series where he's obviously mentally ill. Opponents often get help. Yeah, that was funny. I saw something recently on the animated series, and because it was an animated series, they basically couldn't kill any of the characters. So particularly with like the Joker and things like that, like he had to be insane, but he couldn't kill people. So it was interesting.
Yeah, that's I mean, that happens a lot with animated stuff. Like I remember Samurai Jack, which I was a huge fan of.
Oh, Samurai Jack!
Had to make every enemy either blatantly a robot or like a bug. Like it could never be blood. It had to be like oil or something, because they could never show death of like any human or human-like thing.
Yeah.
So everything was a robot. Basically, everything was a robot, really.
Yeah. It kind of makes you laugh as well, because I was sitting down watching It a couple of days ago, and it's like, well, hang on a second, we're watching a film which is supposed to celebrate a character that kids are supposed to love, and this thing is like a metamorphing like kid eater. It's like, God, I don't want my daughter saying, oh my God, she'll never go to sleep again. Crikey, who the hell came up with that?
Stephen King.
It's just like coming out of like what kids are supposed to love, like in TV shows like Krusty the Clown, all that kind of stuff. But oh no, you watch this one will turn into a drain and eat you.
I don't think Krusty the Clown's a good role model either.
No, that was really bad analogy. That was. I'm trying to think of a decent clown. My God, clowns don't get a good rep, do they? Christ. Okay, you lost me on that one. Clowns are evil. Don't believe the movies. So I guess you guys have got. Is it Princess Leia now? Is it
Princess Leia? Yes.
Princess Leia? Skin like porcelain, hair like a French breakfast.
So, Kevin, do you have, just out of interest, and you don't have to answer if you don't want to, do you have an idea of how much you're going to be selling some of your sketches for?
So
15 quid a pop.
you know, I do have some original artwork up right now, and I usually go 50 each is what I do.
Okay.
I wasn't far off.
These are quicker. These are quicker than I normally do, though, on those. So I'm thinking either 40 or 50 is what I'm thinking.
Something that, okay. No, because I've been sort of thinking, something, trying to get a sense of if I was doing it with mine, what they would be and sort of thing. Because, I mean, the other thing too is, as well, sort of thinking of whether it be a patron or something like that, where, because, you go through quite a number of these, if you just sort of have them as random tiers or something like that, or not a random tier, but, you'd say like, okay, well, as part of this, if you're at a certain tier level, then you'll randomly get one of these or something. I don't know.
It's not a bad idea, to have something like that where it is kind of a bonus gift or whatever.
Yeah. Because then you're not committing yourself to something specific, but then able to still, use or utilize it. And
not a bad idea.
So
which kind of layer are we going for? Are we going for New Hope layer, Slave layer? Which is does anyone dare draw a Slave layer?
It's so funny that I honestly didn't even think of Slave layer. Like, are we going with Slave layer? Which slave?
You can see where my mindset's kind of drawing towards. You got
Kevin, that would have been a $100 illustration.
you would have a lot of teenagers trying to bid for that one.
Very successful artists do those kind of drawings.
Take my money, just take it.
I'm going to do New Hope one. So
that'll be the safest one.
It is.
I've always wondered, as like when George Lucas came up with that hairstyle for Princess Leia, I was like, do you think he was actually looking at a cinnamon swirl when he was kind of making that idea? It's like, we got to swirl her hair up like that into a cinnamon bun.
I think it's possible.
Joke they're out at lunch sort of things. Like, just put two of these on either side of your head.
Yeah, I mean, isn't it a thing that the Falcon was like? There was some like actual thing, like a toy or something he looked at that was like, oh, that looks like we could just add two prongs on the front, and it's the Falcon. I remember reading that somewhere. That's forever ago.
Yeah, it's pretty much what it was, basically.
Yeah, you mentioned it.
I think it was like a dinner plate or something like that. It was like
something in real life that he looked at and was like, add like fork prongs to that, like a forklift, and it looks like this. So
I think it was also like General Grievous as well. I think he's actually modelled off a spray bottle.
Yeah, spray bottle lid.
Yeah.
Because he just took it and then took the forks. Because originally, it was in the these sort of little guard type droids or whatever. They were
the Magna Guards. They got like the staffs, right?
Yeah. They were originally in contention to be Grievous or that design. But Lucas wasn't 100% sold on it, and then they came up with a toilet head design because I think he said that he found that sort of spray bottle cap in the toilet or something like that.
Those are like the really cool stories about how artists and designers come up with stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's all derivative from somewhere.
Oh yeah.
And it has to be, because if you go too far off the reservation, you do designs which people don't have any sort of common links back to, which they do a lot in different alien films, which have a tendency to flop. Like, I'm not talking aliens as the name aliens as a general.
Yeah, like I remember looking through that old Star Wars visual dictionary book that everybody had once upon a time, and seeing all the blasters and guns and how all of them have like pretty much modern day handles and triggers on like all of them.
Yeah.
And then, like, I think even in that book, it explained it like that was on purpose to like keep some kind of familiar link to weapons and what things are. And I remember reading something along those lines. I still have that book somewhere.
Yeah, I think Han Solo's gun. I think it was based off like a 50 caliber. No, it was. What was it based on? It was some sort of like massive bloody handgun that was back in the day. I can't remember what it was. Oh, was it like a Desert Eagle or something like that? I think it was based off something like really over the top like that. Like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting when you really examine them because you're like, oh yeah, that the handle of that is just like a gun's handle.
Yeah,
like nothing different.
Yeah. Oh god, the only other thing I ever get with like watching Star Wars is just like I just love like when like Ben Solo is like talking at the beginning. It's like only stormtroopers have accuracy that precise, and then the very next scene that there's Luke Skywalker standing in the middle, shouting out Kenobi, no, and they're just kind of shooting around him with no cover. It's like, come on, one of them must have shot him in between his baby blue eyes. You know, it's like.
There are some interesting moments like that.
Yeah, it's like, my God, these guys have got some serious plot armor going on. So serious that nothing can touch them. Invulnerable.
Sort of like the robot chicken when they do some of those, stormtrooper shooting school and stuff like that, and shooting all over the place. It's like, oh, you almost got close.
I laughed so much when they were poking fun of that in Mandalorian. Where
God, yeah.
Biker scouts are trying to shoot the can right in front of them.
Yeah. Oh God, it's just unbelievable. It really is. It almost kind of like feels like it's like, well, you guys are really no threat whatsoever, then, are you? Because it almost seems like it's safer to stand in front of you than like stand further away.
It's like, what did all your shooting skills go out the window with Order 66? It's like the only time you ever hit anything.
Yep.
Well, yeah, I mean, because I was sitting there watching the Clone Wars, and just, I mean, because obviously, like going into season 7, and obviously you're seeing there, so Order 66 come on, you're watching all these Master Jedi kind of like get absolutely slaughtered, but then you got this Padawan, effectively she is Ahsoka, she's a Padawan, and yet she managed to survive a barrage of like clone troopers coming through, and she survives. It's like, no, she's dead. Die for God's sake! Kick her in the head or something. Throw a gun at her. I don't care how.
Throw a gun at her.
It's like, just do it for God's sake. It's just, it's unbelievable. It's like, it's obviously just these. Obviously, the main characters obviously got some sort of like extra energy shields or whatever it is. I don't know.
It's the 9 lives of the writer's room.
Oh God, yeah. It's like, well, these guys need plot armor on them, so let's give it to them. Infinity Lives activates. Yeah.
Activating Infinity Lives, sir.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm as big a Star Wars fan as anyone else that I know, but
I mean, it's in your name.
it is in my name, yeah.
Unless, of course, that just means that you're always alone, but I don't think that's the case.
No, unfortunately, that is the case. Actually, my name's my channel's name's not named after Han Solo. Is actually,
really? It's because you're always alone?
I'm in my van all the time, and I'm on my own.
Wow, see, you could have fooled me. Could have fooled me.
I fooled everyone because obviously it's obviously my channel is like, well, I suppose predominantly a Star Wars channel. Obviously, a lot of people's kind of linked it. Well, obviously, it's Han Solo. No, it's because I'm just a lonely person in my van on my own every day. No one to speak to.
That reminds me, there was a guy on Twitch. It was one of the mods for Brick and Nick. A nice guy, and we were talking about Star Wars one time, and I was getting into a debate with him. I was like, I mean, don't you know, like, your name is, his name was like SW something. I was like, your name is SW. Aren't you a Star Wars fan? He's like, no, that's my initials. And I was like, oh, not forever. That was stood for Star Wars. Like, why do you know what we're talking about?
Yeah. Awkward.
Indeed.
No, my name's actually Stuart Whistle.
It's like, I'll just be over here.
Yeah, I'm going to go sit in the corner and cry to myself. You all right? Okay. Oh, Mrs. just came in looking pretty miserable. Oh, you're still on the stream?
Yes. Not for too much longer. Actually, yeah, we only got like 25 minutes left.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful that my son has not called me to say he's done with work early yet. So that's good.
I'm just thankful my work hasn't called me in full stop. It's generally the time they start ringing. I'm like, do you mind going to here? It's like, yes, because it's like 10 o'clock at night. Sod off.
So because you work so much, I mean, are you? How's the money? Is it worth it?
No, it's not worth it at all. Not at all. No, I get to the days as like I could just sit here, ring them up. It's like they could ring me up. It's like, well, we've got this job for you. I was like, well, I've got this job for you. Sod off. I'm going home.
I got this job for you.
Yeah, it gets times like that. It really does. It's like
great. That was probably the best thing you could have said. We got a job for you. I got a job for you.
Go it. Yeah. It gets days like that. It really gets days like that. And obviously, you sit in your van, you do your work, and then you open up your laptop, and then you got about all this paperwork that you got to fill in. Now there's even more paperwork. Thank you very much, coronavirus. You son of a gun. Because it's not really the coronavirus that's really affected me. It's the paperwork that I've now got to fill out. Have you been to a country that's been affected by coronavirus? Well, matter of fact, yes, I have. I live in the sodden country.
Yeah.
Hang on,
How long have you been doing it?
with my daughter, one moment.
Oh yeah, no problem.
Yeah. So how are you finding doing these traditional versus your usual digital?
It is very different for me because when I do traditional, usually it is for a patron gift, and so obviously I'm like really taking my time with that. So it's really interesting to do traditional, but also like the whole keep it fast, keep it light. Like that's very different for me.
Yeah,
so
different good, different bad, different.
Definitely not bad. It's not bad. It's just it's a nice kind of different challenge. I don't know if I would necessarily do it a lot outside of like I guess situations where it kind of makes sense. Like I still like doing it for like I like doing traditional for like virtual cons and stuff. I feel like that feels more right. Because I mean, I would be at a show like that's, it's like the equivalent of me being at a show where you come up to my table.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have my tablet there, so I feel like that's a good occasion to be doing that.
to be doing it.
Yeah.
Though if you're at the show, it's like, why are you even here?
Why are you even here? Who are you?
Who are you?
Yeah. Oh man.
Excuse me. Corona. Yeah.
Oh well, no. It's been nice knowing you.
No need to stand on ceremony. Just put me in the water. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't need
I had time to think about it.
just remember for what I was, not for what I am.
We'll put your ashes in the van.
Yeah.
The future drivers will be like, "What is this?"
You know what the worst part about it is? Obviously, my name, my channel, my logo now is kind of like named after like almost part of my livelihood. I'm in my van on my own. It's like, I really want to be remembered on a social network that I spent all my time in the van.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Like,
Remember that time he built a Lego in his van? Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. I was like, I go and like cut the Kraggles stream or something like that. It was like, hey, look, there's a man in the van. I was like, oh my god, I really am going to be remembered for the rest of my life of a man that works in his van for the rest of my life. I've really got to change my logo again. Christ, I've got to change jobs.
Because my 7-year-old son, there's something wonderful about the innocence of children.
Yes.
He calls Joey. If you guys know Joey, Maniac for Bricks.
Yeah.
He doesn't know his name. He cannot ever remember his name, so he calls him the guy that wears the blue hat all the time. When he came over to my place, he's like, "Hey, it's the blue hat guy," and he's like, "You don't remember my name?" He's like, "No." It's just,
Never knew it.
but it's funny because he knows Brian, Bricks O'Brien, and so like when they were both over, he's like, "Hey, Brian. Hey, blue hat guy."
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's funny when kids just do those little sorts of things and then do it completely innocently and things like that. And
Well, it also makes you think. You're like, oh, maybe I should change something.
I think it's the thing that gets me, especially like kids on YouTube, especially. They're the ones that kind of wind me up the most. I know it shouldn't because they are only kids at the end of the day. Where it's like, sub for sub. Do you mind just subbing to my channel? Sub for sub. I was like, no.
Yeah.
I know obviously they don't fully understand how the YouTube analytics work, and I sure as hell don't, but I know it doesn't work from subs. I'm afraid you gotta watch the videos,
Yeah.
I'm afraid.
There's been a lot of that recently. A lot of at least on the channels that I'm a moderator on, I've been getting a lot of like, hey everybody, please sub to me. I'm like, no, that comment is gonna get deleted.
Yeah.
And it's just like it just seems to be a little intense.
I used to know one kid. He was a good kid, you know. Don't get me wrong, but he was so aggressive. It was like he'll come onto your chat and it's like, who wants to sub to me? Who wants to subscribe to me? It's like, well, no.
Yeah,
one.
that's that. Yeah, that's not. That is poor etiquette.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm having to I'm there reading the chat and like every other chat was like, oh, he wants okay, right, all right, right. He wants people, for God's sake, if just humor him and go over and say, yeah, I've checked out your channel. For God's sake, just shut him up. It's like, yeah, but no one's subbed me yet. It's like, just shut up. It's like,
Take the hint.
yeah.
There was this kid. This kid on, or I assume it's a kid. I don't know. There was a kid on Hope Castle's channel last night, and I was just lurking. But I'm a mod on his channel, and this kid's like, "Hey, so and so, welcome to the stream. Would you mind checking out my channel and subbing?" And I was like, "No, that comment's getting hidden." So I hid it. I didn't say anything. I just hid the comment. And then like somebody else joins. "Oh, hey, so and so, would you mind checking out my channel and sub?" And I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna hide that one." I did it 5 times in a row because every time somebody would come into the chat, this guy would be like, "Hello, so and so, please check out." And I'm like, "Okay," and now you're done, and now you're in a timeout. I was like, I don't know why you're not understanding that I haven't allowed any of these comments to be shown. But I even sent a text message to Reed. I'm like, hey, you might want to yell something out in the chat and be like, cool it, folks.
Oh God. Yeah, I know. Obviously, they're only being innocent on the whole thing, but it's like, take a hint. Come on, you may be only like 10 or whatever age you are, which you shouldn't be running a YouTube channel anyway. But it's like, take a hint. Come on, cool it down.
It's just like, you know, it's very off-putting.
It is off-putting, yeah, especially when it's like every other comment as well. It's like, oh, for God's sake. Oh, there's only so many times that you could just tell people or just hide the comments, whatever. There's only so many times you can do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I'm done with this.
Yeah. Oh, bless him. The most ironic thing is like with that said, like looking at the future for my daughter. She's only like 2 years old. I'm just wondering like what she's going to think about it in the future. It's like, Daddy, why are you sitting here talking to random people about Lego? It's like it's I'm hoping to be my job. So yeah.
Oh man, my
Lego, so I can go talk about it as well. Thank you, love.
Yeah, my son said the funniest thing this morning at breakfast. We were having breakfast. He's 7, having breakfast, and it was me, him, and my wife was there, and he was like, "I want to have muscles," and my wife's like, "Why do you want to have muscles?" And he goes, "I want to have muscles because I want to get ladies, and ladies want muscles." And I was just laughing, and she was like, "That's not funny. Why are you laughing?" I'm like, "Because it's hilarious." That's why I'm laughing.
Well, apparently Debbie wants muscles as well. Hello, Debbie.
All right, hold on. I have a phone call. Stand by.
Okay.
Yeah, I could dream for some muscles as well, but yeah, no. I'm just too lazy. I'm too lazy to get muscles. I'm quite happily drinking my 6-pack from the fridge. It's a lot.
Yeah, there's an aspect of effort.
Yeah. Oh no. I did try and get myself fit. I did try and all that mumbo jumbo stuff, but yeah, it's just like coming into week 2, going down there, lifting up the weights. Like I can quite happily hold an engine up above my head, for as long as it's got an engine mount on at least one side of it. So I consider that done. That's me done.
Yeah. Oh, we're talking about muscles?
I was just talking about my muscles that generally hide out in a fridge.
Oh, they hide the muscles hide out. Oh, okay.
Yeah, they hide out in there, and yeah, I drink them quite frequently.
Oh,
they go down very quickly, very efficiently as well.
I mean, that's a different type of muscle.
It is a different type of muscle. Mostly my arm muscles as well. They definitely get worked out, especially when it comes to them.
Yeah, I think Kevin, you missed his one-liner.
I did.
The facts he's getting is from the fridge.
Okay. Gotta show off for the ladies.
So,
oh, hey, I got a Princess Leia sticker too. Well, I'm gonna go grab it just because, right? Why not?
Just because you can, yeah. Excellent. I might just crisp up that side there, and I think.
Right.
And do we? Because I think we'll have time for one more.
So yeah, here's the. This is the Spock sticker I mentioned earlier.
Oh, let me pull you up on the big screen.
Oh, hold on. Sorry, my son's calling me. It looks like he's done with work. All right, hold on.
Yay!
That's an interesting, awkward spot to leave Spock's head. Works. Plan that a bit better.
Sorry, I'm just trying to sort something out. Just noticed.
Yeah,
I just suddenly noticed something's going off on my work phone, and just sort of noticed an email come through.
Okay, good. All right, we got some pretty good timing. He just finished. So I'm like, all right, you got to hang tight for like 10 minutes. And he's like, okay. So this was the, this is the Spock sticker that I drew. This is only $1, ladies and gentlemen. $1 US. That's it. And it's pretty good quality, actually. It's weather resistant. You can put it on your car, and it should last for 2 to 4 years with no wear. And this is Princess Leia. So there we go.
Where can people pick that up?
Etsy.com/shop/Mr. Hinkle Draws.
Excellent.
So yeah, these are like my quote unquote older style. I kind of had like a Pac-Man-y eye, and these are the ones marked down for $1. So I'm trying to clear through those because these are my new style stickers. So I got like Luigi, and I got the Mandalorian.
Oh, Mando himself.
So those unfortunately are not $1, but they're only $4. They're only $4. But yeah, these, in addition to a bunch of others, I only have them for $1, $1 whole dollar.
So what? That's about 6p, isn't it? Or something like
that. No, not quite. It's actually, I think the dollar to the pound at the moment is actually pretty good. So
really, that's impressive.
Well, I think it's more because we're managing to shoot ourselves in the foot at every turn.
Well, I mean, not to say misery loves company, but it's just.
I think we'll do a quick one to finish up. I think, was it Alien, the Xenomorph?
Oh, that's a fun one to finish on if that's the last one.
I think we saw that TZ way a while ago had that one. So I think just do that. Unless there's anything else that you've seen that you
Oh no, that's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, I think that's can be a nice, quick little graphic type one to finish.
Yeah, it's black and gray. That'll work.
So the Princess Leia one there. Oh, one more Alien. I think as we are doing this one, we'll sort of wrap it up because I know you have to have the hard leave time. And
yeah, I'm sorry.
definitely have said that this one will be 3 hours on the dot. So definitely check out Kevin's website. He's got obviously the stickers there. He's got his Patreon as well. So because you're talking about changing at the moment, is it if you sign up for the $5 one, you get a welcome sketch?
Yeah, that's still the same as of right now. If you sign up at the $5 tier, you get your own piece of artwork, personalized piece of artwork, and that's going to change November 1st to 20. So that gets bumped up to 2 tiers. So right now, you would be foolish not to sign up right now because you can get it for $5. But yeah, in November, that's going to move up. That's going to move to the $20 tier. But there'll be other goodies. I've got other goodies for the $5 and the $10 tier that are brand new, never before seen.
So definitely check that out. And also Solo, he's got his channel as well. And if you
hot takes.
Yeah.
Hot takes. So she's having a work phone call.
And Solo, what if you want to give your channel a plug or what you've got coming up on it?
Yeah, actually, I've got something. Well, actually, you guys are going to get a little sneak peek at what's going to be coming up. So, there are a couple of videos that I've got in plan. They're just your standards kind of like review videos, if anyone's interested in those. But I'm creating something a bit different where I get 4 people on my channel, 1 judge. Obviously, I'll be a judge as well, and 2 other people to build, or 3 other people in this case. To build something, but not with the instructions. So you got to build it in a mock, and you got to build it within, we'll say, like 15 minutes, 10, 15 minutes, and then the winner will win a prize of some sorts. So that's going to be coming up at some point.
So an actual competition.
So it is an actual competition. Yeah, it is something for people to get involved in. And yeah, the reason why I chose to build it as a mock is because obviously I can't tell whether people are using instructions or not. So you've got to build something out of your own creation. I don't get to pick the winner. The judge will get to pick the winner, and then and then maybe after I get a couple of them coming up to Christmas, maybe I might do like 3 of the best winners can actually win like an actual Lego set or £20 Amazon voucher or something like that. So that's going to be coming soon. I'm going to be announcing.
Are you going to be in your van?
I'm not going to be in my van. No.
Okay.
I'll probably record the video in my van, but most of my videos I do voiceover. Generally, I do the voiceovers in my van. That would do, mate.
That really is your brand.
That is my brand. Unfortunately, I'm kind of stuck with it now, but I'm hoping to try and break away from that at some point.
Yeah.
There could be worse things to be known for, and it's certainly quite unique within the sphere.
Yeah, I just thought it'd be a little bit different. I just thought it'd be a little bit different. Yeah, and even if you're not a mock maker, just get involved, give it a go. There'll be some there for professionals and some for not. But obviously, if you are a professional mock maker, be prepared for extra criticism. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, and then it's sort of like, well, if somebody like Kaz turns around on that, it's like, yep, no, forget it.
I'm out. Tag me. I'm out.
Yeah, if I've done it, I'll definitely try and equal it up a bit better. But so if I had 2 mock makers that came on, they will go head to head against each other. And if it's someone like me who can only build via instructions, then that they will go head to head to do it. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's only going to be like a once a month thing, But it's got to bear in mind it's only for the giggles. That's all.
Does it have a name?
Not yet. I haven't come up with a name for it yet. Not yet. So anyone want to come up with any names for it? Go for it.
Yeah, definitely. Crowdsurfing ideas and names.
Crowdsourcing a name.
Yeah. I'm going to take all the credit for it, though, just to let you know.
No shame in that. I mean, if $1 billion toy company can crowdsource a toy, you can crowdsource a name.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, that was it. That was it.
Cool. Just going to say, Brett Spills, just want to say brilliant stream, brilliant artwork, guys. And Solo, what a great host you've been, buddy, as always. Yep, no, Solo makes it... having a host, I think, until you've streamed and done this sort of stuff without it, you realize just how good it does make it and how much it does sort of take the pressure off a little bit. So, no, Solo, certainly a big thanks from us. Really appreciate it. And people in the chat, if you want to appreciate it too, just go and subscribe to or check out Solo's channel. Subscribe.
I've been very entertained with all the hot takes.
Yeah,
very entertained.
If anybody in the comments wants to key in the different times when you're watching back or whatever, make it easier.
Your fellow viewers.
Exactly. That'd be brilliant. And if you also just go through, and if you've enjoyed this, hit the like button, thumbs up down there. That's great. Always appreciated. And a huge thanks to Kevin too for coming along. I always, when we did that stream on your channel, a couple months back, I think that's one of my all-time favorite streams.
Nice.
Love that.
Well, are you going to do more? Are you going to have some other folks join you, or what are your thoughts?
Yeah, definitely. It's I'd certainly like to do it, and I mean part of doing this one is then trying to also go a little bit outside the usual community. So at least by having the one, it's sort of like, well, this is what it's going to be about, or something like it. So
that's exactly that's kind of what I go for as well. I try to reach out. Of course, there's always going to be a little bit of overlap, just because if you're in the community, you're in it.
Yeah.
But I do try to bring in some folks that maybe are not known or not in the Lego community at all, and stuff like that.
Yeah, because I think we're both a little bit similar in terms of, I mean, while the core audience is Lego and Lego related people, we've got, interest within art communities as such as well. So,
absolutely
brings everyone in with that. And if there's certainly anybody out there who, can squiggle a few lines and would like to come on and have a bit of fun, by all means, get in touch.
And you Ray's still here. If Ray's still watching, he's been on my stream before.
Funny figs, no, I was looking at some of that stuff, and it's like, would you be seeing as that me poaching some of your people? It's like,
yeah, he's definitely good people, good stuff.
Certainly want to get some of those people on as well. So definitely check that out. And I've Kevin, as you probably are not just blowing smoke up your butt. I've loved seeing your traditional drawings. I think they're brilliant. Just
appreciate it. Ray is still Kevin. I love that alien, by the way. If I ever get to be a patron, that's what I'm requesting. Sounds good to me. I'll be selling this too, Ray. If you want to buy this, I'm just gonna take a picture of it, and then it's done. It's out of my life. All I need is a photo, and then it's out of my life.
Yeah, because I'm certainly getting to the point now. I got so much sketches and things like that. It's like, it would be better to live somewhere else than it.
Yeah, there's no harm in just listing it up anywhere. If it doesn't sell, it doesn't sell. But as opposed to just hanging out in a box or whatever.
Oh, it's not going to cost you anything to make an like an Etsy account, is it? Just buy, get it up there, do a little bit of advertising for it. Bosh,
exactly.
You're definitely going to get people. You're definitely going to get people that's going to buy some of them off you. Definitely.
I think I'll just pull this one up. Every time I try to switch over and do the double click, it makes it full screen rather than just swap them.
StreamYard also just did some changes recently because I've noticed that some of the stuff I used to have like muscle memory is all like backwards now. I'm like, why do I have to think about where to click this now? So there's a little bit of that action going on.
There's a bit of that, and it's been interesting because the last couple of streams since they've changed all that stuff over, I've generally done it by myself, so I haven't had to think about that. And people are like, all this stuff has changed. It's like, oh, I've never had anyone to have to worry about it. Like, what?
So here's my alien. Look at that. 6:01 on my clock. Look at that action. So here he is, or she is. No, it's not she, right? There's a queen. This has got to be. There is the tiny little mouth there, if you can see it, kind of.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Do you just want to do a how are we going for time? Because I know you have to.
Yeah, I'm 3 hours dead now.
I can
just do a quick recap, Kevin?
Yeah, we can. That's fine.
Yep, go.
All right. So this is. I'll go backwards. So this is the alien. There we go. As we looked at, and then we've got Princess Leia from Star Wars.
Excellent. Oh, I should get rid of the. There.
And then here's the Tron movie poster, just like you remember it. The disc. One of these days I'll watch that. We got Judge Dredd. This one came out pretty good. I'm happy.
Yeah, that's great. Love the reflection on his helmet.
Thank you. Maybe it was intentional. Maybe it wasn't. We got Spock. A little bit out of order. But that was our first one.
Yep.
And
Prosper.
here is the Terminator skeletal form. T-1000, I think.
You are terminated.
Yeah, they have all different numbers on them.
This was my attempt at a Bruce Timm style Hal Jordan. I don't know if it worked quite well, but there it is. And Hulkbuster armor.
Yeah, I love how you leave the white and you get those reflections.
Okay, if you want like a master at that though, you probably already follow him, but Dan Wiesenmeyer is a master of that.
Yeah, no,
Exactly where to not color it, and it's just like, what? Why didn't I think of that? That's a really good way to do that.
And from what I've seen, he does it in like multiple layers and things. Like he really goes to town.
Yeah, I'm trying to embody my inner Dan Wiesenmeyer when I do that. Yes, we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We did 8. That's pretty good, actually.
Yeah, and I mean it looks great, and they're all fully fleshed out. So fantastic.
So yeah, I'm gonna grab some photos of these, and then I'm gonna throw them all up on Etsy. They're all colored, so I'll probably go 50. Because I usually put black and white stuff 40, so I'll probably put them at 50. If anybody's watching and interested, you don't have to purchase. You may look. Looking is free. But if you were
take your screenshots now, everybody. Take them now.
Take your screenshots and print them. Print it out.
Buy the stickers as well. We need stickers, budgets.
And stickers. Lots of stickers on there. I got lots of stickers. I've got like 30 or something designs for stickers now. I promised I would give you the sneak peek of the new stickers coming out next month. So, so like this is the stuff I've done, right? Like, Lego stuff like Johnny Thunder, and we got Luigi, and we got the old style Spock and Leia, and we got Mando. Next month, we're going in a whole different direction. So here's one of them.
Ooh. Is that the clown from It?
Yeah.
So, that is this is very different art style for me, and very different genre and subject matter for me. So,
are you getting scared just holding it? Are
you? I mean, a lot of Google referencing. I'm like, I feel weird looking at these Google images. So, but I've got 10 Halloween stickers launching October 1st from all kinds of like major iconic Halloween spooky theme stuff. So that's coming out. That's brand new. I mean, this is we're talking very different between these two. Kevin draws happy-go-lucky Johnny Thunder, and then now Pennywise, a murderous clown. So there you go. Ray is loving it. This is totally up Ray's alley. But yeah, that's all I got.
That's it there. Oh, excellent. Thanks very much for the preview on that, and giving us the doing that. I was just going to run through the ones which I did. I don't know if you need to go right now. Feel free to go. I'm just going to do a couple of the things I've done, and then wrap it up and call it a night, a day, evening.
All right, I think I will, just because he's already been waiting for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I think I will. But thanks for inviting me. I really did have a fun time. Solo's got some awesome hot takes. Make sure you guys are giving him some love, because where else are you going to get hot takes like that?
Thank you very much.
Always a pleasure drawing with you, Matt. Wish I could stick around for the recap, but parental duties call.
Yeah. Literally just going to go through that. So no, I appreciate coming on. I've had a great time as always when we get together with things. So yeah, hopefully we'll do something again real soon.
Let's do it again sometime, as they say in the biz.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, thanks guys. Have a good rest of your Saturday. Enjoy the rest of the recap of the stream. I'll see you guys later.
Have a good one, buddy.
Thanks, Kevin. See you later.
Love the hand waving.
Do that again. So yeah, just literally run through this here. Get the recap. I'll just pop that up as well there. And funny figs, I may or may not be working on a YouTube channel. Could be fun synergy. Yeah, definitely. If you've, we might have a bit of a chat later on anyhow. But that'll be cool. So just quick, we had the alien head xenomorph. We had a Princess Leia from obviously A New Hope with that version. Then the Tron cycle, light cycle. I actually went for the more recent film rather than the classic one. And then Terminator, my version of Arnie there. Hal Jordan, Green Lantern. That's the parallax when he went completely insane. So a fun little storyline. Version of Judge Dredd. And Hulkbuster, Iron Man, and then we started off with Mr. Spock as well. So that's what we've gotten up to there. I'm probably not as organized as Kevin to put stuff up on Etsy, but certainly if anybody's interested in purchasing them, drop me a line or get in touch. And also too, just again, a huge thanks to Solar Brick Builder for coming on and helping out with proceedings and everything. Really appreciate that.
Thanks for the invite.
And yeah, I think unless there's any other final comments, anything else which you wanted to just quickly say, Solo?
Nah. Well, I just forgot to mention the Wednesday stream every Wednesday, 7:30. So if everyone want to come over and check it out, yeah, but that's it.
Yep, definitely that Wednesday stream. Occasionally I'm on that one as well. And if you thought there were hot takes here, then there's certainly a whole bunch of them over there. So, depending upon how many hours you've been driving for that day or week, or so.
Man, that.
So excellent. Yeah, definitely check it out, and I'm sure we'll see it all. I'll be doing this again next Saturday, and I have on Friday morning I call East Meets West, which is 11 a.m. UK. 8 p.m. Sydney, Australia time, just another general store stream. So definitely, if you can pop along to that and, hit the thumbs up on this one. Otherwise, guys, thanks very much for being around, making suggestions and that there. And we'll see you next time. See you later. Bye.
Bye.